I thought that was an interesting thing that they put as well. Sanity category is just like kind of like is it health? Is it like here, let me just pull up. It's
These prices are so cheap. Holy shit.
yep. Enjoy it. This is they don't know quite the worth of things right now. Whoops, chat. I mean, stream just got to see a bunch
I
of
put that I have 1850 gold. I don't know if
Mhm.
that is correct.
Um, I'm not
I,
sure.
I have 150 from something, 400 from something. I think that was from doing some quests, 300 from doing, I think, other quests, and then the 1000 that I think you gave us to start. So if you
Then
want to
that
cut
makes
back on
sense.
the.
No, no, that makes
All right.
sense. Nope. Yeah, no, that's exact. That sounds about right. I forgot about the 1,000 gold, but I mean, there's only one of each item, so it's not like you could have everyone buy every, one of everything essentially.
By the way, let's just put this out in the open. Are we live?
We are live.
Spiritual weapon is overpowered. It is so overpowered.
It
It is
is.
so
Oh, I
overpowered.
know.
I have to say that a
Oh, I
hundred
know.
times. I don't know if you can. Can you still learn spiritual weapon as a wizard? Is that because I don't think that
I don't
that's
think
a
you.
spell that wizards are allowed to learn, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not.
That is a DM discretion.
yeah. If it's not for your class, you can't learn it. Um, like you can use the scroll one time, but you can't use a scroll for your book unless it is a wizard spell.
Damn, they don't have like just a regular old rifle. Maybe someone else will have that here.
Yeah, if
Um,
it, like there's a mundane armory in the town.
um, But no, last night my group of so like these were CR3 enemies and like per the
Yeah.
so like I didn't think they were that tough, but I was playing them pretty ruthless because I still wanted to give them a good fight.
Huh.
And all of these spiders had spiritual weapon as a spell they could cast,
Hmm.
and I had them all casted on round one. And as I described it to the party, because one member happened to be kind of out on their own and stuck in a web because they're spiders. It was like when the magician puts the person in a box and then stabs all the swords into it, except for every sword stabs into the person.
But I mean, it's not overpowered when because spiritual weapon can only move 20 feet, I think. So like most creatures can get out of the range of spiritual weapon. It's just it was just OP in the context that she was getting just spiritual weapon by 8 different spiders and she was stuck. But anyway, welcome to another week of Doctors and Dungeon Masters. I'm Kelly Breivik, PhD student at UWM, and I am the Dungeon Master.
Hi, my name is Corey Hernai. I am a Plan C student here at UWM, associated with the university, but I technically on paper am, and I'm playing Taratha, the wizard.
I'm Air Bear. I play the Willow, the badass samurai cowgirl.
Hi, I am Leia Liebezeller. I think today I constitute as a person, but I'm not sure. Um, and I play Talia Thievesbane.
Nice. And then, out of curiosity, are any of you getting like weird feedback? Because on Discord, my little green bubble is showing up, but I'm not sure if you hear any feedback at any point.
So far, none.
Okay.
No, not for me.
Then Discord is being a big fat liar. So what happened last year in Doctors and Dungeon Masters?
I have a question about Talia. So does Talia like kill thieves?
Sorry, I am chewing. Uh, so
Like
Thievesbane,
thwart thieves?
yeah, so Thievesbane, the surname comes from her and her family's role as kind of protector of the caravan. Like that is what they do. That like at least one child of every generation becomes like the person that like is either in charge of that or definitely works towards literally murdering thieves who try to like, take their shit in the desert. So that's where that surname comes from.
Yep. Cool. So, what did we do last time?
Well, we started in a little bit of a hairy situation. We were fighting off some drow in the middle of the desert. And these are not very nice drow, but we managed to scare them off, I would say, is the appropriate way to describe it. And then we reconvened with our group, and then we continued. And then I think I'll let Taratha tell the story of how Taratha almost died.
That's not entirely accurate. Taratha did die.
Yeah. So, what'd you do?
Try to solo a boss.
Yeah, you did. And instead, he soloed you. But luckily, you have the sidekick Cleek, who teleported, blew all of his high-level spell slots to get you in and out. And then Akadito revivified you and was quite mad at you. That's where we left it.
Sorry, Junie is being very demanding right now.
Oh man, I love her. Yeah. So y'all go to back to the caravan. It's only about an hour or so before you get to the outskirts of Bucrel. Let me pull the map up. So, oh, there we go. So it's still a pretty large city. It is smaller than Vara. So this is mostly a trade city. There are some aspects of it that are sort of businessy like, so very much like Wall Street. There's not a huge sort of like law school presence, but like business and business law is kind of tightly knit together in this particular city. So a lot of the people in Vara who work in business or business law tend to get trained in the universities in Bucrel. What's interesting about Bucrel is that besides the fact that it's kind of like the trade center of the desert, or at least this part of the desert, I don't think anyone, even Tali and Taratha, have explored the entirety of the desert at this point. But
Yeah.
but this is the trade center as far as you know. Sorry, my dog sees something. But what is also interesting is that there's a castle here, and there's a sort of figurehead noble family. They are royalty. They do have some sort of standing here, but none of the other cities have a sort of like royalty because the artificers are the royalty. But it's more of a figurehead sort of thing, and more of like an alternative to artificers, since the artificers are, you know, a week's journey almost, or not really, 3-4 days journey away. So they decided to, because they're so big, to have a sort of stand-in government and royalty, even though that the artificers supersede them. So, what is everyone doing to start off? Are you going to be sticking with the what was I gonna say? Sticking with the caravan, or and setting up shop and trying to peddle some things, or are you going to be looking to explore the city? Uh, what's on
Maybe
the agenda?
a little bit of both.
Okay. How long would you spend doing setup? So you'll roll in at around like 10 a.m. It takes about an hour to get everything laid out. And then after that, it's sort of a commission based if you're a salesperson, but none of you are salespeople. Your main job was the travel bit, making sure that you are like nothing happens to the caravan. So you do not have to stay. You could opt to sell things and make commission on those things, but it's not like it's your main source of income for this travel.
I'll like run security for like I'll just start not really like run security, but just like kind of hang out for, like the morning, like the first couple hours uh with Zola and just kind of look around and make sure there's no funny business. But then we'll want to head out and see what's up at the shop and get her cultured.
All right. As you're standing around, like Zola will come up to you and she'll go, "So can we go to a bookshop? Think I'd like to see how they run their business over here."
Sure, we can do that today.
Right. Um, and she like looks and like she wants to help out, but then she like sees some of the caravan people that were giving her a real hard time, and she like waffles back and forth a little bit whether she wants to actually help them. She goes, "I'm gonna make myself useful till we go," and she'll
All
head
right.
off to go help the others. What are Taratha and Tali doing?
Tolly would stay to
Shopping.
Tolly would stay to help them set up for sure, and then that's when she considers her job done. Like when they have
Mhm.
when they're in the city, when they're set up, um, kind of like that's like the heavier labor where they actually need the people, and then she will jet also to shopping. We're gonna have a fight
I
about those
know.
fucking silver
I
ravens,
know.
sir.
I fucking
Um,
love the Raven so
as the
much.
animal person, god damn it.
Yeah. Do you bring
And shall fight.
Boomer with you?
I would say that's I have a question. Do you
Yeah.
think that Boomer is okay enough in the city now after I had done some of those animal handling checks kind of in the city before we
Yeah.
left, or is he like still like very afraid? Because if he's still afraid, she would
He's
not bring him with.
he's good enough to keep with you, but I would say he still needs more time if you plan on getting into battle. Or you know,
Oh yeah, no battle, no
yeah.
fighting. Like the most that she would have taught him is to say as she does something, if they like, to make sure
Yeah.
he doesn't like try and get in the middle of the fray, but she has not taught him any battle things and would not take him to battle yet for sure.
Yeah, no, he's good enough to walk around with you. He's good enough to that you could tie him up and go into a shop and back. But if you leave him alone in the city, or if you leave him alone outside of a shop for more than say like a half hour, things might get hairy.
Okay. In that case, she will be conscious of that, but does want to continue kind of acclimating him to
Yep, and by doing this, he
city stuff.
will like exactly what you're doing right now will be what he needs to be better at being in the city.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So y'all help things the caravan gets set up, and now I imagine it's shopping time.
Yep.
All right. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of flea markety type stuff around. And like you could try and find some extra stuff in the flea market, which is where you're set up. Um but there it's going to be a lot of like kind of like what people take on the road. Like even your place, your caravan, Leia, they don't have like their best stuff because
Hmm.
they're not going to travel with their best stuff. Those things are in their home bases. So you could look more around the flea market later, but where you're going to find these items is at a shop called Mira's Miracles. And it's a shop of wondrous magical items, some of which are handcrafted, and very few of them are like secondhand. So like there's like antique shops where you could find magical items here or in Vara, but Mira's Miracles are ones that are crafted by people after learning how to do magic. So you enter the magic shop, and there's a soft tinkling of the bell. And you see a friendly looking elven woman turn her head, and she goes, "Oh, hello! What can I do for you? You look like a
Well,
fine group of adventurers."
Looking to
so
buy.
it's me Zola, Teretha, and Bane, right? That's who's there.
Correct.
I'm just browsing, but it looks like you got a nice shop here.
Why, yes, I do. Only the best here. Only we try and pride ourselves in in helping the people that are making stuff now. Because I know that there's some people who like the old stuff, and yeah, there's totally value in that, but we want to make sure that we're feeding the mouths of the people that are alive today, and not so much people that died years and years and years and years ago.
Fair enough.
So, what interests you?
I see that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
See, there's a sword behind the counter there. What's that?
Give me 1 second. Are you talking about the flame tongue?
I believe that's the only sword that was on the list.
Yeah, sorry, I'm opening it up right now, because I'm a doofus, and there we go. Just gonna pop it up over here. And she goes, "Ah, yes, yes, that one's made by my cousin. It's called the Flame Tongue Sword. It does a little bit of extra fire damage for those beasts that are, not quite friendly to those. But beware if you're fighting something that's made of fire, because that damage won't do all that much."
I'll keep it in mind. So how does it hurt things? Like, does it start itself on? Because I assume it's like not in fiery mode right now.
Right. Like there's definitely, so it's currently like it's out. It has a scabbard, but it's currently like on display. But there's like a display thing that says like check out the flame sword, kind of like and it's got like little flames drawn around it or painted on the display, so you could guess that it does fiery stuff. She goes, "Well, all you gotta do is speak the command word and it'll light a flame. It's also great for when you're in a dark place and need a little bit of light. But don't worry, it doesn't stay on fire forever. You just speak the command word again or you sheath it and it's back to being nice and normal."
Nice. Seems interesting. I'll keep my eye on it.
Of course. Is there anything else that are you looking for weapons? Are you looking for armor? I got a lot of and she'll pull out some scrolls. She goes, "Got a lot of nice scrolls here. I see you're the wizardin type over there. What is your name, miss?"
Taratha. And yes, I will be purchasing many of your scrolls too.
Well, I am quite happy with that. Thank you. So
I don't look like someone who fancies a dance, but believe it or not, I think I'm starting to get my tapping shoes a little bit. So if you could give me the dance macabre, that would be nice. The irresistible dance. I can't really resist that one now, can I? Um, you really can't get into where you want to go without a good knock, so I'll take that as well.
Oh, well, of course.
And
You got quite a hole to burn in your wallet, don't you?
yes, if everything I buy, if I calculated everything right, because your prices are very neatly laid out, it'll be 1,400 gold, I believe, is everything what I want. Also, those prayer beads seem very nice.
Well, yes, of course. I would be happy to sell these to you. And just above table, did you like add it up correctly, or are you deceiving her? Because I didn't do the math.
It's 1,300 without the raven, 14 with the raven. We need to decide the raven, but
Okay.
yeah, so 13 without, 14 with.
Okay, let's do it
In
without the raven for now and let the characters decide. But go ahead.
I will scooch over to Zola and I'll say, "Hey, pick out something that you want. It's on me."
Really? Well,
Yeah, so she can pick anything there.
hmm. She's going to sidle up to Taratha, and she's going to show off the scroll again that you tried to copy that she wouldn't let you, and she'll go, "So why are you buying all these scrolls if you said that they're useless to and only one time use?"
Because you can learn them.
Ah, Uh, well, which scroll do you think I should learn?
It depends. What kind of mood are you in right now?
Well, I like I want to learn stuff that'll help me run the shop. I'm not looking for anything that'll
Of
hurt
course.
anyone.
Just so I'm aware, what class is Zola?
She is copying you, so she is a div whiz.
Beautiful. Well, then I think it would be irresponsible of you to not learn invisibility.
Ah, is there Bowie, come on, dude. Okay, so there is it. Okay, so she'll nod and she'll go up to Willow and she'll go, "Can I have the scroll of invisibility?"
Sounds like a good pick. I've seen a fair good number of people get by without being seen.
Thank you, Aunt Willow. This makes it worth running the shop all that time while you were gone and not getting paid. And she'll like she's digging a little but playfully. Um and she'll give you a
And
hug.
Zola,
Yeah?
come by my tent later. We'll talk about how to actually properly learn what's on the scroll.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Maybe we could even copy that other scroll.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I tried. She'll she'll look a little like, ah darn, but she'll she's getting a free scroll of invisibility. It's a good day for her.
Also, as a party, depending on how much gold we have left, we might just, this is above table, collectively just have like a pool of healing potions just in case.
Yeah, and if there's no healing
Y-
oh yeah, there's a potion of healing. We got them.
How many are there? Like potion of healing, or is it just
So
one? Like, is it just one here?
there's only one, but if she'll see you looking over that, and she'll go, "Oh well, oh sorry, that's my Zola voice. Oh well, if you're looking for more healing potions, there's the apothecary down the road. I just like to keep one in stock, just so it's a good add-on item for adventurers if they want. They only need to top up one or two,
Hmm.
but don't want to make a trip down the road. But Adana's apothecary, right down the road, good place.
All right. Well, thank you. Um.
Thank you. I see both of your eye and my silver raven over here.
Hmm.
It's a fine animal.
Yeah. She will kind of like point over to the pup, kind of tied outside, and she's like, I think make a good companion.
That's true. But that dog out there looks like it could eat this raven here
It could,
as a snack.
but it won't.
Well, that's good. Cuz that's a lot of gold to be throwing away just for a doggy snack.
And just imagine how it would look on my shoulder, Tali.
She kind of looks at your shoulder and looks back at you and looks at your shoulder. Just more dramatic every day.
To
and
cultivate a cult personality.
and the shopkeeper will look and she'll go, "I mean, if you're that in need of a companion, I can get one of my people to work on a scroll of, say, Find Familiar. Would that be something that you're interested in?"
Oh no, I already
Oh no, sorry, that
pretty
was
much
to
have. Oh,
Taratha.
that sorry.
Oh no, I have Find Familiar.
Yo, well, she doesn't know that, and she'll go, tell me what you're looking for then. Is it the raven? Is it its health? Tell me what about it appeals you, and if I find something similar
The
or
aesthetics.
hmm. Well, these do take some time to make. I could do a special order for you if you're in town.
No, that's fine. That robe, is that the only color it comes in? Because I can't wear it if it's gaudy.
Which robe are you talking about? The useful
The
items?
robe of useful items,
Yep.
because it looks.
Oh no.
I could summon a fucking portable ram.
Ha. She'll go, well, unfortunately, these robes are they need to be made from a very specific material, and you'd be surprised how easy it is to forget which pocket is which. So you need to make sure that we color code the patches so that you don't accidentally pull the wrong one. So yes, it is gaudy, but that is the only design.
Can I just have the patches in a bag?
um she'll shake her head and she'll go, I'm sorry, but they're magically affixed. I mean, if you are able to undo it yourself, then power be to you. But unfortunately these are, you can't just take them off.
Right.
But once
She will
again,
look over at Taratha
uh-huh.
and just kind of like roll her eyes and is like, I don't carry much anyway. If you want the raven, take the raven. You would look ridiculous in that.
Hmm.
No, I think I'm gonna take the robe.
All right. And she'll look to Talia and she goes, well, it looks like you have a new animal friend here. Is there anything else I can interest you with?
I'll point out the cloak of the bat and inquire about it.
Ah, yes. That is a quite a fantastic cloak. Give me 1 second, I have to pull it up. This one was made by one of my best friends. He was an adventurer and then he decided to retire. And while
Did he
wearing
take an
this,
arrow to the knee?
no, no, he took he took in a child, and he if you wear this cloak, you're a little bit more dexterous. You're a little bit more stealthy. You can grip the edges of the cloak, and you can even fly with it. Um, 1 second. And then while wearing the cloak, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it out. I don't feel like doing this in character. While wearing the cloak in an area of dim light or darkness, you can use your action to cast polymorph on yourself, transforming into a bat. While you are in the form of a bat, you retain your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma scores. The cloak can't be used this way until the next dawn.
Seems pretty useful.
Yes. My friend was quite the powerful magic user. Although he didn't say it was magic, he insisted what he did was science. Eric's heard this way too
Oh,
many
so he
times.
was dumb.
um, and now he makes a living by making scientific items, and she'll do that in like big air quotes.
I'm
Quick
gonna
question:
Mm-hmm.
how many beads are on the necklace?
1 second. They're beads of blessing.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
It says 1d4 plus 2. I don't know if I already had that pre-rolled or anything.
I did not, so I'm gonna do that now. Wow, 6.
And don't they recharge?
1 second. Yeah, they recharge.
Oh, oh, bless. Oh,
Hmm.
bless is one of the best spells in the game. Oh, fuck yeah.
Wait, what spell? Sorry.
Bless.
bless.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? Wait. Where are we getting blessed? I'm confused.
There's
Prayer
a
beads,
Prayer
bless.
beads.
Oh, the prayer beads are blessed. I didn't see that. Okay, cool. Bus is really good. It
Yep.
doesn't require concentration. So that's
No.
just like fucking that's a game changer in a combat.
No, it does require concentration, unless because it's cast from a bead, but I don't know how that works.
So this one would require concentration. But I mean, even still, it's a bomb ass spell to have.
Rechargeable? I don't have to waste a spell slot? Yeah, it's really good.
Tolly, when we were investigating that weird library in the sands, it was quite a an encumbrance, the fact that you had trouble getting down into the shaft, if you recall. I think that this cloak could be quite useful for you.
She's like looking at it. She's like, is it just. She looks at her own, like what she is wearing, and looks at that cloak and looks back at what she is wearing. And it's just like, I don't.
You're a death cleric. You'd look like a bat. It works. Stop resisting.
I don't actually want to look like the Grim Reaper.
Well, we can patch this thing up, make it look more like a poncho or something, right?
I mean, you could do some like taken in, you just can't entirely alter it.
Honey, there are some fates you just can't avoid.
I just love it.
She is just looking like forlornly at this fucking cloak, like her god
You feel-
definitely
I would
fucking
say-
put it here.
Yep.
And like she's like annoyed that he put it here. And
like your
having-
scythe is like kind of tugging you in its direction.
Oh, Lord. Fine. But I also want to know about this wand of web.
Yes. Well, if you want to do some crowd control and make sure that the enemies stay in one place, you could use this so that they can't move around. It's great, especially, and she'll point to Taratha. You keep them all in one place and you throw a big fireball at them.
It gets really, really hot.
And they are restrained, bitches. She's like looking at this
Yeah.
at this wand, and she's just she kind of like mutters to herself, "Just give it back in kind." Because she's like, yeah, okay.
I needed to let you have this power.
I appreciate this wand of web deeply. Okay. So how much is all right, and then.
So Willow will buy the scroll of invisibility
Nice.
and the wind fan,
I love it.
and that will be it.
Nice.
The flame tongue is like really, really good, but the issue is that I don't think it's better than a +2 sword that I already have, and a flame tongue is +0. So like
Yep.
it's hard to like be like, yes, the fire damage would be really nice. It might even leave them more damage, but I'm already attuned. Like I don't have it in a
Yep.
slot because I have the leg, the bracers, and the sword already. So that's why I won't be taking that. But that's okay. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
I think that the leg is probably the next thing to go. Do I have to be attuned to it in order to use it as a leg?
I mean, here's the thing. You can see if there's someone in the town because you're gonna be in town for a week. And you could see if there's someone in town who'd be able to do something with your leg to kind of like add something to it.
I would like that, but I'll subtract the 200 from my thing for the wind fan and the scroll of invisibility.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. And Zola will give you another hug. And then she'll like kind of like pat herself off. She goes, "We're cool."
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying, I hugged you a lot today. Don't usually hug you this much all in one day.
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought you meant like we're even or something.
No, no, no. Nah. I just, don't want it to be weird hugging you so many times in one.
Well, this is a little bit of a reward for going to a new place and trying some new things.
So will I get this every time I go to Bucral?
Well, I can't guarantee, but as long as you're pulling your weight.
Well, I'll pull my weight.
Tolly is gonna look over at Zola. She's gonna say, "Do you think that you are stronger or more dexterous?"
Well, I am definitely more dexterous. Ever since, Tyratha taught me how to use Mage Hand, I've been avoiding lifting heavy things.
Okay, so she's gonna look Zola up and down. Would you say that a blowgun would fit her aesthetic?
um, so Zola definitely does not want to be an adventurer.
Well, right. A blowgun
Yeah,
is not an adventurer's fucking weapon.
right, right.
A blowgun is a frog's weapon.
Yeah,
A blowgun is like, well, I found myself in this situation. Like,
yeah. I think out of all the weapons on that list, the blowgun probably. Cause like she's not fucking doing the flame tongue or the short bow or anything like
no,
that.
no, no.
So the blowgun would definitely be the only thing on that was
All
that
right, all
leg.
right. So Tolly's gonna ask this elven salesperson. Do you have any darts that go along with this here blowgun?
Oh, yes I do. God damn it, I keep doing Zola. Oh well, yes. The blowguns come with their own set of darts, so you'll have a full set of 12.
Anything special about the darts at all, or just a blowgun? Blowgun darts.
Well, they're just blowgun darts. The blowgun's the special thing, not the darts. But
Yeah.
it does come with this really nice satchel to hold the darts in, and she kind of holds it up, and there's like 12 little slots that go in,
Oh,
and they're
that's
like
so cute.
labeled 1 through 12.
Yes, that's so awesome. Yeah, so she's gonna also pick up the blowgun.
Nice.
Um, I'm not telling Zola yet,
Yeah.
but
Nice. I'll pick out one potion of healing and give it to Zola for, in case anything bad happens.
Well, yeah, well, I ain't getting into any fights.
Sometimes the fight finds you.
Yeah, I guess. But that's why I'm gonna try and stay in the bookshop, where the only fights happen on the pages.
That's true. You want to go to a bookstore?
Well, yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, y'all wanted to go to the apothecary first.
Well, they can go to the apothecary. I don't got no business there.
I suppose. And just so you know, what was I gonna say? There's a you went to essentially what's like the trader. There's an armorer, a weaponsmith, alchemist, scribe, and wandwright. In the store, in the town.
I want to go to the armorer eventually.
Okay. Um, the rest of the party, are you gonna follow to the bookshop or are you going to go elsewhere?
I'll go to the bookshop.
Okay. So the party goes to the bookshop, and it's pretty cozy. Who is best at perception? Give me a perception check.
It'd be me or Tali, I'm assuming. Tali, you're plus.
no, I don't.
Wait,
I actually have the lowest in the party.
oh, I have +4 plus my proficiency, so I don't know if that wins or loses the day. But I'll.
I do think you have the highest perception out of all of us, but then it's Taratha, and then it's me, because my passive is 15. So
I
Yeah,
have 17.
it's because you're not proficient, right? My passive is 18.
Okay, yeah. So when you
That
walk
would
in,
be passive. That was all you wanted. Okay,
yeah.
I actually made a roll.
Oh, it's
My
all
bad.
good. Um, I think I said a roll, but I mean with an 18, that's fine. Like there's nothing like really hidden in this shop. It's just like what do you see and notice walking in? So this bookshop, it's fairly big. It's not quite like a Barnes and Noble necessarily, but it's kind of sectioned off into like kids book section, university section, kind of like so there's different sections based on what genre it is, and then you see a little coffee shop in the corner, and like immediately like Zola like gasps, and she almost runs over, but she like holds herself, and then she just she remembers like I have to be a proper adult here, and I just got some cool stuff, and I don't want my aunt to regret buying me stuff when I just kind of go running off at the first thing that excites me. And there's a it's not like totally like completely packed, but there's like a lot of people ambling about. There's a man with like shoulder, and he only stands out because like his hair is like a really cool color. There's a man sitting in the coffee shop drinking his coffee, reading a book about dragons, and he's got like shoulder length, just gorgeous blue hair. And he's dressed like very stylishly. Um, and like no one here seems to be an adventurer. Most of them seem to be in common clothes, but there's like a couple of people like this guy who are dressed up like a little bit fancier, so you could tell like you're not in quite like the average part of town. Like it's in like the upper middle-ish class area. And Zola will go, "Can would it be rude if I start poking around and asking them about how their shop is going?"
I don't think so. Just be polite.
All right. I'm gonna go find the workers, and she'll pop off. What's everyone else doing in the meantime?
I'll just browse.
Sounds good.
Tali
I'm gonna
Tara.
go
doesn't really
talk to the
know.
bookkeep.
Okay, and then Tali.
Tali doesn't really know what to do in bookstores.
Uh huh.
She feels a little out of place, but she's just kind of stand by the door and like wait for the more intelligent people to like get their stuff done.
Sounds good. And are you wearing the cloak right now, or are you still in normal clothes?
Oh my god. She puts it in her bag. Just she's not really prepared for the raven sitting on
I
top of her site while she's
know.
wearing this cloak. She's just there's just too much aesthetic.
I
Like
know. It's just so
it's
Let's
beautiful.
paint it white, baby.
Oh man, it's just so perfect. Like, because the best thing is,
um
like, I didn't even consider the entire aesthetic of the raven and the cloak with the scythe.
yeah, yeah. I mean if I had thought about it earlier, I would have actually responded to Taratha being like, "Can you imagine it sitting on my shoulder?" Like, well, can you imagine it sitting on my scythe?
Yeah.
Oh, why do you think I relented? Why do you think I relented so quickly?
Yeah, no, no, she's now like just taken on this part and she doesn't know how to feel about it, so she's just gonna very awkwardly stand by the door.
Nice. Um. So we'll do we'll resolve one at a time. So Taratha, you go looking for the bookkeep, and Zola is already like she's let me just see how well like she found the person already. She got there before you, and she's like trying to like pose as like more businessy than she is, because she could see that this like not that like the steady quill is like a bad shop by any means, but like this place just like they have it on lockdown, and she wants to know like what are you doing differently than us that makes this place look nicer than our place. And she's just trying to like present herself as older than she is, and like higher up in the food chain than she is, and she's not doing that great of a job. But the bookkeeper is being polite. They could tell that Zola's just like an eager young person trying to make her way in the world. The bookkeeper is she looks like she used to be an adventurer. She's got some scars. She's pretty built. But there's some like instead of like hair, it's sort of like it's like her hair is thinning, and instead of more hair growing, it's like a little like branches with like leaves are coming out of her, and there's like a flower, kind of blossoming from her forehead. Um, do you wait for Zola to finish, or do you interrupt?
I'll wait for them to finish.
All right. It takes a couple minutes, and she'll actually shuffle Zola off to one of the workers. And then let's see, does she notice you? Yeah, she'll notice you, and she'll go, "Oh, hello, can I help you?"
Potentially. I'm curious if I could peruse your special or rare collections.
Well, I apologize, but I'm going to need a little bit more specifics. What do you mean by special, and what are you looking for in the rare? Because, uh, by rare, that can mean something ancient, but that can also mean a limited edition, a limited print, a signed print by a author.
I'm looking for books on the occult, specifically hell.
Hell, and
Yes, and I don't need the riffraff that's typically on the shelves.
well, I apologize, but it does not seem like I have anything in stock of that nature. We are more for the everyman, or every woman, and she'll give a little smile, and she'll say, but I would suggest that you go to the Varan Library if you need something of that nature. They have quite an extensive section underneath, they say. I've never been, so I apologize. I only have hearsay.
Of course. And if in your collections you come across anything on interplanar travel or anything of that note, please contact me.
Oh, well, I don't have anything about interplanar travel, but I do have some of the newest, and she'll motion you over some of the newest texts about some translations about planes and the planes that exist. Not so much about how to jump between them, but to know what's out there.
I'll take whatever's the most recent.
And she'll pull it out. And it's the title is just Planes, Planes, Planes. And I'm sorry, Taratha, but it's like a very garish cover. And give me a history check.
17.
So this is written by essentially like the Pagany and Gilderoy Lockhart. Not saying that he's a sham like Lockhart is, but it's like he's more of a personality than a scholar. So you could probably find stuff of interest in here, but it's very sensationalized and not very textbooky. Do you still want it?
Do you have anything a bit more reputable?
Well, I have some things that are a little bit older, but that's being taught in the universities, and she'll point over to the textbooks. She'll go, they're quite more expensive than the regular books, just so you know. And not that I am assuming what you are able to purchase. It's just you don't look student age, and sometimes people get a real sticker shock when they see what students are paying for their books.
Hmm. Um, or better yet, can you give me the name of anyone in the university I might benefit by having a conversation with?
Hmm. I think you should Rasa. Rasa is the leading scholar in Vara, and give me 1 second. I I don't know her all that much. I just see her reviewing a lot of books that come out, and she'll kind of like a lot of the textbooks that come out. So I'm not quite sure what her area of expertise is, but she seems to be well versed in the research community.
I'll go start with her. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. So we'll pause there, go back to Tali. Tali, you're sitting there for a couple minutes, and you are approached by the man, like the fancy dressed man with the blue hair. And he leans down and he goes, "You know, the books don't bite. You'd browse the shop."
Oh, they do bite. I've met some.
Well, these ones do not. It's not the scary libraries. It's just a bookshop. We'd have quite the insurance premium if we had biting books in here.
She just, I don't, she just kind of looks at him. It's like, I don't really read.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Here, let me and he'll pass over one of like he had a book in his hand that he'd been reading, and he passes it over to you. And he goes, "Well, let this be a gift for you in case you change your mind about reading. I find it quite a very relaxing pastime.
What book does he enter?
All about dragons."
um,
And it
yeah, so
seems to
she
be.
will,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so she will like peruse the book and also say, I find experience with actual dragons to be more informative.
Oh, have you met a real dragon? They haven't been seen in millennia. Well, until a couple days ago.
You've been seeing dragons about these parts?
Well, there's you're not from here, are you?
I come from the desert.
Well, there was some dragons here, two of them in fact. It's quite the talk of the town. They flew overhead and flew away.
Lucky, I suppose, then.
That is true. But why don't you hold on to that? It's not quite the most studied text, but it is quite consumable for the masses. I think that it's an interesting read. And he's not being condescending. He's just like, yeah, this is a text that's made for like the everyday person and not for someone who's a scholar.
Yeah, yeah, she'll put it in her, like, she'll put it in her bag, she'll take it with her. Thanks?
You're welcome. Be well, friend. Sit down for a coffee if you'd like. And he'll just go back and, order himself another coffee. And do you sit down for coffee? Do you sit down with him, or do you chill and wait for the party to?
Yeah, she's just gonna chill. She's kind of like in eyesight of the pup,
Uh-huh.
mostly because she knows that one of the few things she knows about bookstores is that you get lost in time there.
Yes.
And the last thing that she wants to do is like get lost in a conversation. So she's standing at the door in part because she's just kind of waiting for people to get done, but also so that the dog can see her
Mm-hmm.
from from where he is. I have forgotten the name that we chose and I feel like a dick.
Boomer.
Yes, Boomer, thank you.
Yep. Uh, Willow. You are perusing. Are you looking for anything specific, or are you just kind of killing time while everyone else does their thing?
Killing time.
Okay. So it takes about 20 minutes before Zola approaches you, and she'll go, "Wow, did you see their coffee shop?
I did. What do you think?
I think it's fantastic. People, I mean, I know you worry about people just reading books and putting them back on the shelves, but that's why they have books that you can only read in the shop so that people can read and stuff, but not necessarily take books off the shelf, read it, and put it back."
Sounds like a good compromise.
Yeah. And they said that business is booming ever since they put the shop in. So, what do you say?
Well, I mean, when we get back, we can look into it.
I is it a money issue?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have to space it out, but we'll figure it out.
Sounds good. I look forward to learning how to cut the wood and lay the tables down. And she's doing all these sort of motions, and like it's just all wrong. Like she knows nothing about this. She's eager and excited, but if she has any hand in building it, it's probably going to be bad.
Yep.
What?
She's right now. That's all.
Um. So Zola will go, and she goes, I'm just gonna buy myself a quick book with some of the money I saved up. And she kind of pulls up a a little like a pouch of money, and it jingles. And she goes, I got a lot of tips while you was gone. And sorry, that wasn't meant to rub it in your face. I'm just saying I'm quite charming.
Well, that's good. It'll serve you well.
And she'll skip off and to buy a couple books, but then the party can kind of gather up outside. What's next on the agenda?
I want to go to the
Armor.
armory.
Armory. All right, give me 1 second. Let me generate. Okay. Oof. I do not want those. Let's try that again.
No +3 long sword in
It was.
here.
It's no, no, no. It was just like all adamantine armor, and I'm like, no, I need my crits.
Wow.
What?
That's our relationship.
Yup. I just don't.
I can't even wear armor.
Okay, 1 second. I'll just pull it off. Okay, Eddie, I'm just copy pasting and putting it in chat. Anything that says adamantine is not actually. It's just going to be like mithril, where you don't have disadvantage. Second. And same prices apply. So, oof, and take out. Actually, no, it's legendary, so you can't
They don't
afford
have
that.
any weapons.
This is the armory, not the weaponsmith.
Oh, I need to go to the weaponsmith, but you guys have fun at the armory for now. Legit can't wear armor, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for the record, if you try to leave, Tolly is gonna like follow you for a sec, and it's gonna be like,
No, I'll just wait. That's all.
okay, all right, yeah, because Tolly is going to be like, maybe we should stick together.
Because of the dragon thing.
Um, I mean, in part because of the drag, like above table apart because of the dragon thing, but also because every single time we have like split the party, bad shit fucking happens. So she is like, nah, 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 you don't get to go. Like she's just gonna, she has a leash on this dog and also everyone else.
I love it.
But you guys browse the shop and have some fun.
Armor.
Tolly will actually sit with, like, will stand with you,
Okay, give me
because she
1
doesn't have
second.
anything that she needs.
Weaponsmith. Okay. I just have one thing. Almost there. Okay. All right. So you get to the armory, and there is a dwarf kind of just hammering away at some plate armor, and he turns and he goes, "Hello, fair adventurers. What can I do for you?"
I'm in need of something quite rare.
Well, I don't mean to be crass, but are you able to wear armor? You look like the sort whose shoulders need something lighter.
That's exactly why I said I need something rare.
Well, uh, describe to me a little bit more what you're looking for. You seem to be someone who wants something specific, and I'd rather not guess.
Right. I don't mean this to be insulting. I'm sure you understand that elven chain is quite remarkable for people like me, and I'm looking for that specifically.
Ah, well, as you could see, the elves don't take too kindly to my kind, so I tend to not stock their items.
No, but if you could do your own dwarven version, I'd gladly take that. And actually, I'd probably trust the craftsmanship a little bit. I find the elves a bit shrewd, and it shows in their product.
Well, that is some words I like to hear. I would be happy to make a custom order for you. It will take about 5, 6 days. Is that okay for you? And above table, that's around how long you're staying anyway. So it's not like
Yeah. How does 400 gold sound?
that sounds fine to me. Would you mind if I took your measurements to make sure that this is, you know, fits you just right?
Please.
And I mean, he's completely like totally professional about it. He like announces where he's measuring before he like even puts it to your arm or whatever. And he'll kind of explain, like, oh yes, most people believe that you should start at the armpit, but in fact, you want to go a little bit above just to account for the shoulder movement. So like he's kind of talking the whole time as he's measuring you, and then he'll pull back and he'll go, "You seem to be a woman of style. I can, for a small fee, add some ornamentation to it if you would like."
Yes, what do you have in mind?
Well, excuse me. Are you still wearing the robes of the Alcots, or like their like colors?
I'm not. I'm wearing more of my like desert garb, that kind of like light blue, white kind of
Okay.
attire.
So he would kind of match what you were doing, what you're wearing, and he goes, "I have some fantastic sapphires I can put on the collar, maybe. It'll go well with
Ooh,
what you're wearing."
ooh, you are speaking my language.
Oh yes. Unfortunately, I mean, I can add diamonds as well, but I feel like that might be a little overboard to match with the white. I think the sapphires send just the right message.
Subtle, yet it makes a statement. I agree.
And depending on how big the jewels you want, I could get them encrusted around the collar, either 50, 75, or 100 extra. And he'll kind of show you the size of the gems, depending on the size. And 75 is like the perfect middle ground, I would say. The 50 GP will like give a shimmer, and then the 75 will be like just tasteful.
Yeah, I'll do the 75 because then now I'm tapped out.
Nice. Um, and
You
he'll
need money, you can ask Willow. She's got tons of money and nothing to do with it.
Yep. I mean, look, did you see the weaponsmith? I put it in chat.
Sorry, what was that?
Go to chat because there's the weaponsmith, and also bear in mind that
Oh.
the weaponsmith would be able to put different things into your leg if you wanted to have them do that. So,
There's no enchanter like shop?
well,
I'm just asking.
the weaponsmith, like, so the way that I'm dealing with these is like any shop would be able to enchant the items that they're selling, or have someone that enchants the items that they're selling.
All right. Um so the pistol,
Mm-hmm.
is that so like I'm using the pistols from the Exandria gunslinger.
Uh-huh.
Is that pistol the Exandria gunslinger as well, or is that the one from the Dungeon Master's guide or the player's handbook
I
or
hate the
whatever?
player's handbook one, so it's whichever one is like the more like wieldy pistol to have.
Yeah. So that's the one from the gunslinger, because the one in the other one is like a range 30. It has loading property, and you can only shoot it once. Whereas the
Yeah.
other one you have like a reload.
Yep.
All right. So okay. So rare, that means 250, 350.
Yep.
Okay. What's special about this pistol, other than that it presumably is well sighted?
Well, and this one is another dwarf. They're actually like side by side, and you can imagine like they're probably like run by the same family or same people. And this dwarf will go, well, it's does a little bit of extra damage and makes it just really really accurate. It's finally made.
All right. How much is it?
Well, this is 350 gold.
All right. Um, how many shots does it hold?
Gold 6.
All right. So I have two pistols here, and I'll pull out my two pistols.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to some kind of trade in?
And he'll look and he'll go, well, what are you looking to get back on these pistols? So just so you know, whatever the price is in the PHB, just because these are so inexpensive compared to PHB prices, it would
Yeah.
what you would sell the pistols for is for an eighth of, like, any weapons here is an eighth of whatever they are. So
Okay. So they're normally 150. So an eighth of 150 would be
mhm.
20 gold
Yeah,
each.
correct.
All right. Um, I will. I'll buy it outright and keep my own pistols.
Sounds good.
Um, don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with them yet, though.
Mhm. Now, bear in mind, these weapons do have to be, like, any plus something weapon does require attunement.
Good to know. Then it's good that I'm keeping my other stuff. I didn't realize that all plus weapons required attunement.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Everyone, quick, go to
I know.
your favorite magic item list and see what they say about. All right. See, like I'm looking at like armor
Oh,
plus one doesn't
yeah.
require
Okay, then.
attunement.
Um. But it's a plus two. That's the.
I mean, yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
the Dungeon Master's Guide, page 213 says it. A regular plus two weapon with nothing added on is not an attunement
Oh,
thing.
then you're good. It's
So
not
and
attunement.
even
I'm an
and
idiot.
even it also says without becoming attuned to that require a specific requirement, the creature only gains its non-magical benefits, and pluses like plus one, plus two is non-magical unless specified as such.
It says, yeah, so like I'm looking at just weapon plus two.
Mm-hmm.
It just says weapon rare. You have a bonus to attack and damage rolls with this magic weapon. The bonus is determined by the weapon's rarity. So it's like a plus two.
Yeah.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
say anything about attunement or
I
anything
mean,
like that.
Then that's
at
fine.
my own, yeah, my own tables, the way that I do that is like, if it's plus two, then it could have potentially two enchantments on it. But just because it's plus two doesn't necessarily mean that it is magical,
Yeah,
I
no, that
guess.
was
I don't
just
know.
me thinking that all plus weapons require attunement.
Mm.
So, nope, does not require attunement.
Now I gotta name this thing, and I would like to talk to them about enchantments.
Yep. Well, he'll go, well, this, if it helps you, this was, made by a, halfling named, Linda Cotton. And she's a leader of the Fellowship of the Hammer and Scepter. The, local, adventurers guild.
Interesting. She's hanging around.
Well, yeah, she's the one that does most of the enchantments around here.
Uh, I think I'd like to go talk to her then.
Well, yes, of
Where can I
course.
find her?
Well, you can find her. Let me just pull up the map. Oh, goddamn. They're in Storm Sprawl, and that is in the sort of northeastern part of town. You are currently in the markets, which is 1 second over here. So it's probably about like an hour walk from here to there to get to the area where the hammer and scepter is.
All right. So, you fellows got any bigger guns than this? Something that I could use to shoot something at range? Because I've been finding lately that once in a while I'd like to just some pick off some stuff from a distance, but I haven't. As you can tell by my sword, I tend to be an up close fighter. But having that option does is intriguing.
Well, I do have some that I can spare. It's just it's not going to have any sort of magical quality to it unless you paid Linda for a little bit extra.
So, all right. So I have the firearms page on the gunslinger thing. I'll make
Mhm.
it known to you quick.
Yep. And just so you know, the prices in the DMG or whatever it is, it's going to be a quarter. So if it's 150, it's a quarter of 150.
So there they are there
Uh huh.
on the thing. And so there's like one that's very good called the bad news, which
Yep.
is like that would be the one I'd want, but that one doesn't have a cost associated, it just says crafted. So I don't know exactly if how I would get that potentially
So
crafted.
I would say just going by the kind of raise that everything's going for, I would say that that one like the bad news would be 600 gold, but then a quarter of that.
All right, so a quarter of 600 is what 120?
Yeah,
One
that sounds.
wait no,
What?
yeah.
What?
No 125, 125.
Yeah.
All right, I'll buy a bad news for 125.
Yep.
Eric, are you done, or do you have more discussion to do?
I'm good at this shop.
All right,
Uh huh.
I want to talk to the about ammunition and also a longbow.
Sure thing.
Um,
So he'll look to you and he'll go, "Oh, ain't that a fancy scythe you got there? I haven't seen one of those in a very long time."
yeah, it's came upon me one day, I'd say.
Ah, well, ain't that a treat? What can I do for you?
So she pulls out this blowgun that she just bought. And she says, "I'm looking at this ammunition you have over here,
Ah,
and
yes.
would love to take that those blowgun needles off you. What's special about them?"
Well, they much like this pistol that your friend just bought it, they're a little bit more accurate. You could trust them more when you're firing them. The wind does not capture them like they would with the normal set of darts that you would get. And
Mm-hmm.
they have this this tip. It can't get dulled, so they will always do a little bit extra when you hit with it.
Well, I think I will definitely take those. I do have a question for a couple extra gold. Would you be willing to wrap these things together with the blowgun and such? They are a gift.
Oh, oh, I would not even charge a for wrapping it for a loved one. And he'll actually just kind of pull up some very nice sort of like parchmenty paper, and it's like and some twine, and he starts like putting it together, making it all nice and neat. And he goes, "Tell me about the person that you're buying this for. Is it a partner, a family member, a daughter, a son?"
Is Zola here right now?
Um, I would say that she is sticking with the dog right now. I mean, she doesn't feel
Cool.
like going into the armor shop. She's like probably sitting outside reading a book next to Boomer.
Okay, cool, great. Yeah, so she kind of like glances over at the girl next to the dog. She says, I'm with the caravan, and I'm with a caravan that goes through the desert. She's having her first foray into what it means to be outside the city and in the sun and
Ah.
venturing, as it were. And she has done such a good job thus far that I felt she deserved something nice.
Well, isn't that. It always warms my heart to see budding new adventurers come in here. Usually, I don't get the youngins over here because I tend to sell things that only the more experienced are able to purchase.
Mm,
But what a fantastic day today is. This warms my heart. He just loves it. Like he's like talking to you, and he's kind of talking
mm,
about swapping stories. And
yeah.
then he'll pull out a little like kind of a cardstock piece of paper, and he'll write a little note. Just like a well wishing note, like
Mm,
what luck you have to be surrounded by such fine people. Something like
huh,
that.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then he'll kind of place it up top. And he goes, I'm very happy to have done business with you today, friend.
Yeah, he definitely gets one of Tolly's like rare smiles
Nice.
um, for all of that because she definitely enjoys that. And then she'll say, I'm looking at these two bows that you have, and I was wondering about them. Y- what they can do. It's the weapon of warning longbow, and then the just plus one weapon longbow. Foes slain with this weapon are transformed into ravens. I don't know if that's actually a thing that it does, but
No, it does.
okay, so
Because
one of them. So
that's such a
really, I was
good
looking.
aesthetic for you.
I was actually looking at the weapon of warning, like this would be like really in her kind of like protection stuff, like that would go really well with that. But then
Yep.
I was like, well, fuck, the other one turns them into
I
ravens when they
know.
fucking die. Jesus fucking Christ, why? Um, so anyway, she's asking about both of them, to kind of
uh,
get a read on what these are, because she doesn't do much with longbows, but she wants a little bit of ranged
Yeah. So
protection.
with the weapon of warning, it warns you when you're in danger. While the weapon is on your person, you have advantage on initiative rolls. In addition, you and any of your companions within 30 feet cannot be surprised except when incapacitated by something other than non-magical sleep. The weapon magically awakens you and your companions within range if any of you are sleeping when combat begins.
Yeah, I feel like that. This is my problem. I feel like that would actually be the right way to go,
I know.
but aesthetically, the fucking Ravens
I know.
um are ridiculous.
Do it. Be ridiculous. We're playing D&D.
But the thing is that she really does have two aesthetics. She's got the that are kind of like warring, right? Like she's got the one that's like all about protection and like her companions and all of that, like which is her shield, um, and kind of who she was before all of this. And then she's got this fucking death shit that she dislikes so much. So I think I'm gonna go with the weapon of warning actually.
Mm-hmm. Breaking my
Just because she
heart. I
feels
just wanted those. It's okay.
she almost wants to buy both, but is gonna stop herself because she feels like I don't know. Yeah, yeah. She's gonna go with the weapon of warning longbow.
Nice. All right. Anything else?
Ah, you've been such a great help today. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, I look forward to seeing you again soon. You've cleared out my shop a little, so I look forward to having more enchantments and more exciting weapons coming your way.
We'll definitely be back.
Fantastic.
So I would want to go see Linda Cotton,
Okay.
and I would
Would you let the
maybe
party know, or
yeah,
okay?
yes, but I would like to send Zola back to the caravan.
Oh, did I do something wrong?
Absolutely not. We're just gonna be going and seeing maybe some roughhousing kind of folks, and I didn't want you to necessarily get involved. Plus, you've been doing such a good job taking care of that dog. I thought you might want a break.
Well, I am really liking this book. All right, I'll Tali, you want me to take Boomer back to the caravan?
Uh, you think you can handle it?
Well, I've been handling him all day.
All right.
And she rolls a very good animal handling check this time. It seems like she's learned by watching you how
All
to
right.
yeah. So like I mean
Yeah,
she
so
does a
she
lot of
watches
yeah.
Boomer heal and stuff, and as they're kind of walking away, because she will say yes, and then she will like watch them as they
Yep.
walk away. She did like kind of stow the gift, kind of gift away so that Zola couldn't see it,
Mm,
before she came out, and then yeah, she'll let them let those two lovely people go, because the
nice.
dog is a person now.
Sounds good. Yeah. She has little doggy snacks that she's like kind of tempted him with
Yeah.
anytime he starts like getting a little bit too interested in something else, and they walk off just fine.
All right.
Let's go see Linda Cotton.
All right. So it is about I'd say like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock ish now. So it's getting close to like the hottest point of the day. And you make your way uptown, walking fast. Faces pass, and you're not homebound. And you go to. I hated the more that I drew that out, the more I hated myself. And give me a history check. Unless you want to ask for directions.
I know.
14.
That history check is a 19.
Nice.
I'll let them take the lead.
Yep. Yeah. Taratha gets you in the right, like, rightish area. But it's Tali who gets you all like really right there, and you're like, oh, I wonder where. There it is, because it's just like this huge guild hall with a with an archway with the name of the thing over the arch, and you just see hammer and scepter. And it seems like have you it's like a like lakefront brewery sort of, where there's a little ramp up, there's the archway, there's like big double doors, you go inside, and there's like a small walkway until it opens up into the guild house proper. um is anyone doing anything specifically, or are you all sort of staying together and just kind of like getting a like are you just going in, or are you trying to like get a lay of the land before really going past
Uh,
the entryway?
I'll just go in.
All right. So you walk past the hallway going into the guild hall proper, and then a like a half orc puts their hand out towards you and puts a hand on your shoulder, and they'll go, "Whoa there! I haven't seen you around these parts. What's your name?"
Willow.
"Willow. And what guild are you hailing from?"
I'm a freelancer.
"Oh, well, with freelancers, we need to have some sort of proof of proper adventuring. We don't like to have uh, any people trying to cause trouble proving that, their worth. We only have mature adventurers who are proper
Kelly,
members of guilds, yeah?
what is the name of the caravan again that you had
Uh,
decided on?
it is the Sandy Seaway Caravan.
Yeah, she will just kind of like interject if that's okay with you, Eric.
Yeah, go ahead.
And she's gonna say, "Where was Sandy Seaway? Can we just move this along, please?"
And give me 1 second. He rolled bad on his history check, and he goes, I'm sorry, friend. I do not know this caravan you speak of. Maybe you have some papers or something that might jog my memory a little."
Yeah, she'll produce
He's not
whatever.
looking for a bribe, is he?
Oh, no, 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 not at all.
All right, just
She'll
double
produce
check.
whatever papers they use in cities, because I imagine that there's some sort of like with the amount of bureaucracy in this kind of area,
Oh yeah.
they have to have some sort of papers, and so she will just kind of like produce those. I don't know if those are like those things are like something that Taratha and Willow would have, which is why I am just interjecting right now. But yeah, she will just
Yeah.
produce those papers. Um,
I think with Taratha and Willow, like it is something that adventurers would have when they hire on the regular, but because this was like sort of like a one-off, they didn't feel like doing the paperwork for them necessarily.
right.
But I mean, the papers that you give him, and you just say like, "Hey, we're with the caravan, like you know, we're good," like that's enough. He goes, "Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Welcome, welcome." We have, and he'll point to different spaces. He'll go, that's the call board if you are interested in making some gold and helping the city. There's we pin any look, you know, any sort of job there. We have some refreshments over here, and there's kind of it's like a kind of like a salad bar in a way. But if you want something specific, you can order some food and drink from our tavern that is attached towards the back. And if you're looking to socialize, maybe network a little, we have plenty of long tables. You can find a friend, sit down, and enjoy the company.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Oh, well, I have to pull up the. I am Agla.
Adla. My name's Tali. This here, I think Willow introduced herself already, and here's Taratha.
Well, I hope you enjoy your stay here. It is quite a nice place. We want to keep
Hmm,
it that way, so no fighting. If there is a scuffle, you may take it outside. We have a brawl space out back.
perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And yeah, like I'm not sure what kind of adventurers guilds you guys are used to, but this is like very sort of like it's more of a socializing place than it is you know, sort of like a taverny place. But there's like I really can't stress how much like I'm just looking. It's the Lakefront Brewery in my head. And then if you go out back, then yeah, there's this sort of like rough and tough scuffle area. Because hey, you have a bunch of adventurers. But this is just like a cozy place. And and I didn't say it, but there's like an attached sort of inn that you could stay at as well if you wanted to, but you would be able to stay at the with the caravan.
All right, so I'll head up to Linda Cotton and the
Do you know what she looks
Enchanters.
like?
Nope.
Give me a perception check.
I'll ask that guard guy, hey, where can I find Linda Cotton?
Oh, Linda. Oh, she's a funny one, real spitfire. She's and he'll point and goes, you can't see her, but she's right in. She's always sits with some of my friends, and like you'll see a bunch of half orcs at a table, and what looks like to be an empty seat, but you can imagine that a halfling is taking that empty seat.
All right, so I'll walk up to them and is there a place to sit?
It is a full table.
Hmm. I'll walk up and I'll say, I'll look at Linda and I'll say, hello, I think I have something that used to be yours.
And she'll turn around and she'll go, well, most adventurers do.
It's this nice little gun here, and I'll pull out the gun.
Ah, that's a good one. Can make those in my sleep.
Yeah, so you don't have a name for it or anything?
Nah, I make so many of those. It's not special enough for a name.
All right.
I mean, but if it's
Well,
special to you, you can name it. Just you know, don't let me be a Debbie Downer on you. What
I always name my guns, It's just a habit, I guess.
well, if you want to name that one, she'll hold her hand out. Do you give the gun to her to look it over?
Sure.
She'll go. I made this. This is the fourth one of the day. Made it back in September. So 904. There you go. There's its name.
That's kind of a boring name.
Well, that's why I don't name things unless they're extra special. So, what can I do for you? I imagine you didn't come here just looking for a name for some silly gun I made.
Yeah, I hear you're pretty good at enchanting things.
Only the best.
Only the best. All right. Well, then I might have a job for you. But I would like to sit down if possible.
Do you ask that? Do you say that, or do you?
I say it out loud, yeah.
Okay. And she'll go, well, the chairs move. We'll make room for you. And she'll kind of like scoot over a little bit, and she'll like, not in like a dismissive way, but she'll like nudge her friend to move over, to make room. And it's a little cramped, but you could sit down with them.
All right, so I sit down and I'll turn and I'll kind of pull up my pant leg and I'll show my metal leg and I'll say, "Well, I got one of these fancy contraptions on my leg here." And
Hmm. Haven't seen those in a while. Usually that's artificer work over there. Fine
indeed.
work. So what are you looking to have done to it?
Well, and I also have these bracers, and I'll pull back and I'll show like the wraps that are around her
I'm a little more
arms.
interested in the leg. I like the metal stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you see, what these bracers do is when they help me defend myself, right? They make me a little bit, a little harder to hit, right? They're imbued with a magic, and I was wondering if it would be possible to take the magic that's in these wraps and put it into my metal leg.
So just to confirm, disenchant, reenchant.
Something along those lines. There's an enchantment already on the leg. It gives me an animal friend that I can ride around.
Ah, that makes it a little tricky, but I'm always up for a good challenge. Ah, hmm. And she's looking it over and she's like thinking about it and she'll go, I could swap around enchantments too if you're looking for something else.
Sure. I hear there's a dragon roaming around these parts or something like that. You see it?
Oh yes, the sun went dark. That's how we were able to see him. It was not one but two dragons, and not gonna lie, I'm really excited. I thought I was gonna go on the trip to find the meteor that popped in a couple months back, but I think I might be going some dragon hunting soon.
Interesting. Well, if I'm happen to also find myself in the company of dragon hunters, I suppose flight would be useful. You think?
Yes, that would be. Oh man, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of flying myself, but boy, does it seem like fun. So,
So, what would it take to put that in my leg, I suppose?
so are you looking for a fly in your leg,
That
or something more of
or winged boots.
Okay. She'll look at it and she'll go. Ugh. So, here's how I would rule it. The first enchantment, like kind of just popping it from one to the other, would be 200. And then every other enchantment would be an additional like because it'll get like harder and harder to kind of pack all of this stuff in, and she's going to need to reinforce it. So it's going to stack as like an extra 150. So the first one's 200, then it's 350, then it's 500. Um, does that make sense?
Yeah. So wait. It would. So
Like,
wait. What if I just keep the bracers of defense and do the winged boots and just add the winged boots in? What would that look like?
that would be
So that'd be level 2.
yeah, that'd be 200. And then if you wanted to do like if you would put like say the braces of defense, then there would be an additional 350 for a total of 550.
All right. And but is there also the cost of the winged boots, or is that already included in there? Because like, are
Give me
the
one second.
cost of the flying thing, right? Or is it like a base?
I gotcha.
Just
Give me
trying to
one second.
understand.
Yeah, so give me one second. Wait. Cost.
They are. They
What
actually
are
on
they?
the roll 20 doesn't say the rarity. Thanks, roll 20. Let me go
Yeah,
to my other
I was just about to
source.
go to it's wondrous rarity, uncommon. So it would be half the price of the thing. So add I think 50 to that.
Okay. Hmm. So what would be the total price? I'm trying to get that, wrap my head
Yeah,
around
sorry. If
all of
if
it.
it's just putting winged boots in, it would be 250.
Okay. And then adding the braces of defense would be.
An additional 350. So then all in all it'd be 600.
And
Add
then
all that.
would that also free me up an attunement slot then, technically?
It would.
I'm asking you.
Yep.
Okay.
You're packing your
That's
attunement into the item.
Yep, that sounds good to me. I'll do all that, and I'll pop off my leg, and
Hmm.
I'll ask you got a crutch or something I could use?
Oh well, yeah, we got plenty. Come here, come here, and she'll like make you follow her, and she goes into like and she clearly has a lot of clout at this hall. Like she doesn't run this place, but she pretty much like tells people what to do, and they'll do it. And she's not like power hungry. She just knows that she's good, and she's not afraid to flaunt it. And she goes into like a supply closet and she kind of rifles around for a little bit, and then she finds this kind of like it's definitely not as good as your leg. It's pretty like creaky and not the best, but it does the job. And she'll hand it over and
Is
she'll
it
go.
what is it made of?
It is made out of some sort of like alloy. Like I want to say like some sort of like a light metal. Um, but yeah, it's probably not the best to be fighting with, but she most likely picked this one because like the ones that are durable will slow you down.
Yeah. All right. What do I need? Is this going to cost me anything extra?
Oh no. I mean, I just need your leg and your bracers for I don't know, 5 days, and then I'll be able to swap it back out, you know. Can't let someone go walking around legless. Not going to charge you cuz you know, you lost a leg. You know,
Oh,
they say that the
all right.
prices here cost an arm and a leg, but in fact, it costs you neither.
All right. Well, that sounds fair. We can. You got a deal.
Fantastic. Well, pleasure doing business with you. I'll need a half up front, and then we'll take the other half upon delivery.
I'll pay it all right up front.
Nice. Just fantastic. Just show up here, or would you rather me have it delivered to the weapons maker? Not sure which is closer for you.
Um,
This
how
would be
about this?
closer. The armory
I'll
would be
I
closer, but go ahead.
I have means of communicating over long distances. Can I just send you a message every day after tomorrow to see if it's done, and then head on over when you tell me?
Yeah,
Send around lunchtime.
that's fine. Well, didn't get your name. What's your name?
Willow,
Willow. Fantastic doing business with you. And thank you for buying my gun.
you as well. You're welcome. I'm gonna name it Trigger.
Nice. I dig it. Anything else anyone's doing while
Ooh,
you're here?
actually, why don't I just wait? What was her last name? Cotton.
Cotton.
I'll name it Cotton Ball.
I love it. All right. What's everyone else doing?
Nothing. Just chilling.
Chillin'.
All
Now I
right.
have lost my bonus to AC and
Yep.
my ability to. Basically, I no longer have magic items.
Yeah.
I just jammed them all together. We're
Yep.
friends now.
Do you want to so here just to remind you, and you don't have to do anything, and also bear in mind like you're kind of I mean at least Willow. I mean she's still probably pretty deadly, but she's running on kind of like a, you know, 3/4 speed at this point. There are some things that you
Do you want me
can
to reduce my speed?
no, your speed is not reduced because you took the light
Okay.
one. But if you take enough damage, it might compromise the leg. That's all.
Sounds fine. I assume that if I had a crutch, I'd be at half speed. Does
No.
that sound fair?
I mean, but you're not on a crutch. You have a proper
Yeah,
prosthetic
I was
limb.
saying if
Yeah.
it breaks,
Oh, oh yeah. Yep. What was I gonna say? You can
my
look
half
at
speed
the
equals a dwarves full speed, by the
Christ.
way. Monks.
So they're just to kind of give you stuff that's like in the area. You could look at the kind of call for adventurers postings if you wanted to try and do some mercenary stuff while you're here. You could just say, yeah, we just nap for 5 days and take it easy, and then
I'd
pick up
like
our
to go
stuff at
on
the
some
end.
adventures. Maybe take Willow on one that doesn't seem too dangerous. But
You mean
I'm
Zola?
gonna go to the bathroom, so I'll be right back. Zola,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll wait till Eric comes back for you to go to the like the guild postings. There's also you could investigate more about the potential meteor trek. There's the potential dragon slayer trek. Um, Not sure if there's anything else that people are interested in this city, but those are the things that I had planned. But that doesn't mean that's the only thing that's available.
The university.
Yes, that absolutely. So it's not quite as and just so you know, the university that she told you about with Rasa, that would be at Vara, not at this particular university. But there are definitely scholars here.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah. Bobo.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
this dragon slaying trick is like these dragons have not attacked anybody, and now we're gonna go murder them.
Or I mean, not necessarily. Kind of. Some of them are on the murder hobo route. Some of them are on the like they want to see what's going on, so it's more of a recon mission. There's not just one group of people looking for dragons.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm back. Sorry.
All right.
How dare
we
you
were
have
just
bodily functions there? Gee.
we were just kind of catching up on the different things in the city. So, here's some of the things in that's on like the kind of call for adventurers. The first one, there's an alleged set of dodgy merchants that are selling faulty magic items and then leaving before the buyer discovers the fraud. There's also a call for bodyguards for an event in the castle. Um, they just, there's just a sneaking suspicion that there might be some sort of disruption, so they want to have as many kind of hands on deck as possible. There is a violent murderer on the loose and has yet evaded capture. There's a very addictive drug that is ravaging the city's youth. There are nobles going missing and their bodies are being found with their brains sucked out. And there is in this adventurers guild it's kind of like this seems to be more of an internal thing, but you could still take it on. But people in this guild are returning with only half their party and have no recollection of the missing members that are not there.
None of those sound like Zola appropriate. Not that
Nope.
they should be.
Not
they
at
should
all.
be.
Well, this is I mean, you could go to a less prestigious guild hall, but like this is like the nice guild hall.
Yep. What do you think?
You said you want to bring Zola along, right?
That was the initial idea, but none of these look necessarily appropriate. So if she can't come, that's all right.
So,
Well, it is
Tal,
appropriate.
I didn't hear what you said, Corey. What was that?
Well, what is appropriate?
I don't know. I thought I'd know it when I saw it.
Tali's gonna go up to the guy that they were talking to before.
Yes, okay.
And and she's gonna say, "So, we've got a mm, maybe fledgling adventurer along with us on this trek now. Not with us here, but back at the caravan. And we were wondering if you know of any maybe smaller nuisances
Hmm.
that we might be able to just introduce her to the to this job a little bit.
Hmm.
Any rad roaches?
Yeah.
Well, there's there's always some vermin out in the outskirts, some giant rats or desert scorpions that we like to try and chase out or kill before they get to the city proper. You can always go scouting for those, make her feel a little bit better about keeping the city a little bit safer. Does that sound like something that you'd be interested in taking her on for?
Did Willow follow Tolly, or is she still kind of like back at the table or whatever we were sitting at?
I'm listening.
All right. So she's gonna look over at Willow. Um, say, I don't
You
know.
you get
You
like
got
a
a
little
moment?
shrug, like yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
thanks.
yeah, just go to the outskirts of the city, and they're mostly trouble on the northwest side where there ain't that many buildings and people walking by.
Yeah. Great. Perfect. Appreciate your help.
Good luck to the fledgling. I look
We'll
forward
tell her
to
that.
maybe seeing her here someday.
One day.
Still ain't fucking coming here.
Oh, I don't know. Tolly's working on her. It's a slow, you can be a book nerd and an adventurer.
Oh, absolutely, but Zola is not. I love how you're also like you could be a book nerd and an adventurer, and Tali's constantly like, I'm not. I don't read.
She doesn't like it's cool. She understands that people like to read. She's never found anything that she particularly really enjoys. A lot of the books that she has been like she has found in her life are like evil or awful or
Uh huh.
like any of that shit. Books are totally fine. She just has an aversion to it.
Uh huh. Sounds good. Um, second. Why is this doing stuff? Yeah. But yeah. Do you go back to the what's it called? The caravan to go um say, uh go get Zola and do some adventuring?
Yeah.
Willow?
All right. Um, so at that point, Zola is, she's just tending to the animal. She's, what was I gonna say? Like brushing the ponies, keeping an eye on Boomer, making sure everyone is fed. Like she seems to be like she genuinely wants to be useful and keep being useful. And what was I gonna say? Um, just and especially because you all like were like being nice to her today and like clearly doing like what you could to make her more comfortable and reward her for doing well, so now she's like um extra incentivized to kind of be useful.
Yeah, so Tolly is gonna pull the gift out of her bag, and then she's gonna like stop. She's like almost walking over to Zola, and then she stops and she turns around and she looks at Willow, kind of like with a question on her face, and she says, "I'm about to give your niece a weapon. Is that okay?"
That's more than okay. I saw you buying it today.
All right,
I assume with Willow's passive insight of like 18 that she at
totally,
least
100%.
it was a possibility in her mind that that's why you were buying those things.
Yeah. No, for sure. It was just one of those like she realized that like Zola actually has a like parental figure that she should check with, where any other person in the caravan, she would just do this. Like it was like so like it was just a all of a sudden she thought maybe I should check before.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad
uh,
idea.
Nice.
but yeah, so she will go up to Zola.
Well, hi. How was the rough and tough and the mean big old adventures?
Not so rough and tough and not so mean,
Well,
but
that's
it's
good.
okay. And she says, I have something for you that I thought you I don't know if you'll like it, but I hope that it'll be useful to you. And she'll she'll hand it she'll hand it
She'll.
over to her.
All right, so she'll open it up. Let's have a look. She seems to she looks at it and she like it takes a moment for her to realize what it is. Like she definitely didn't expect you to give her weapons, and she'll go, well, this will definitely hurt someone if they try and do something that I don't like. This is very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. That is it's a you've been doing a good job, and I feel like uh you don't have any of your own weapons, but you're learning some magic, and couldn't help to just have a little extra backup.
Is this is this town more dangerous than you're letting on? Is that why everyone's kind of keeping an eye on me more than usual? Because I mean, I'm from a big city. I know
Oh
how
no,
to.
this city is just fine. There's some stories of some dragons, but that blowgun ain't gonna do nothing to a dragon.
Oh,
But no,
they
it's
saw
more
dragons here.
it's more. I know that you want to spend your whole life in the bookshop reading and all that, but also if you ever decide to do any adventuring, it's good to know how to have just a few things that you could use if you ever wanted to do that.
But I don't want to go adventuring.
But just in case. And also you're going to be in the desert for a little while longer. Wouldn't be a bad thing for you to be able to defend yourself if you needed to.
Well, I ain't arguing that. I'm just saying I don't want to be an adventurer. Nothing against
Right.
y'all.
Nah, of course not.
But I mean, if someone tries to steal a book, I can. And she kind of like
Exactly.
mimics, she without a dart, blows into the
Right.
thing.
Right. Yes. Well, it would be kind of perfect for the bookshop too.
Yeah, I could practice. I could put some bullseyes on the parts that we're gonna knock down to make the coffee shop, so that don't matter if there's lots of holes if I miss the bullseyes, because we're redoing that part anyway.
So I'll walk on in when that conversation seems to be dying down a little bit.
Hmm.
Uh huh.
So you're having a good day out here.
Yeah.
Well, it's about to get a lot worse or a lot better.
Uh, and she looks at. Let me just have her do an intelligence check. She nat 20s. She no no and Will, I just told Tolly that I don't want to be an adventurer, and you got that. I'm gonna make you go on an adventure look on your face right now. And I don't like that look. I don't like it. I like tending to the horses. I look at its hoofs. I made its hoofs cleaner than it's ever been.
That may be, but even the hoof cleaner may find adventure befalls them without their permission.
And she's looking at you, and her eyes narrow a little bit, and she goes, "I've been I've been working at the bookshop and living for almost 14 years now, and I ain't ever gotten into a single fight. Why would it start now?"
It helps when you have me as an aunt sitting right across the counter, but I won't always be there. Fortunately, I'm here today, so we're gonna go see on something, and we'll see how you do. But don't worry, I'll be right there.
And she's actually going to turn to Taratha at this point. And then she goes, "Wait, we were supposed to do spell scrolls today, Taratha. I don't think that we'll have time to do this nonsense adventure, and if we're supposed to be copying down scrolls tonight.
I would actually agree with that. I think it'd probably be better in your interest to work on your spells.
See? And Taratha knows magic best, Aunt Willow.
Eh, she knows your type of magic best. That's true.
How long will
Not
it
all of
take
us can
for
have
you to?
a, a god bestowing us with magic for it.
And then I'm just putting in
More than
chat,
one.
I didn't roll Zola's portent dice, but these are her portent dice.
Does she have any damaging cantrips?
No. She is 100% non-damage anything. She has Dancing Lights, Gust, and Message. Her first level spells are Find Familiar, Identify, and Unseen Servant.
It's beautiful.
Well, she better get used to using that bowgun then. I always thought that she would have at least one level in monk because of all the training that she's done with me.
I mean, I just put her as a level 2 wizard.
All right. Well, this is going to be interesting then.
Yep. Good thing
I
he
think
gave
it'd
her
be
that.
best.
Sorry, go ahead.
What are you teaching her again?
I'm learning.
Zola, tell me if let's say a big old wolf was coming down on you, what do you do?
All right. Well, first of all, with the scroll that you bought me and that, Taratha's going to help me with, I'll make myself invisible. And
Wolf can
then,
still smell you.
I wasn't done. I have this fancy scroll with sand wall, and it won't be able to get to me, and I can run real fast away from it.
What if it's a pack?
It's a really big wall, Aunt Willow.
I'm gonna toss. I'm gonna toss Taratha 50G, and I'm just gonna say, teach her something to defend herself with.
And
Okay,
like,
give her a damaging cantrip, please.
I
I love
pocket it and say, well, the best offense is a great defense.
False. The best
True.
offense is offense.
And for the record, like, she would go and fight if you want her to. Like, she just was like trying her best to get out of it.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Fine, Aunt Willow, I'll do it tomorrow, but I have to learn my spells tonight.
Look. The thing is, too, if you ever wanted to, I saw you getting all excited about there being dragons.
Yeah, I want to know more about them, but that don't mean I want to fight them or go real close to them.
But see, if you learned how to defend yourself, you could get close to them without having to fight them necessarily. We don't actually know enough about dragons to know if they're dangerous. Well, or if they're mean. No, yeah.
You think that just any old person with a little bit of training could outrun a dragon? I think not. I think you're just about to say anything to make me think about going on an adventure.
I just think having a variety or a variety of skills is a good idea.
Well, I know crocheting, I know painting, I know drawing, I know a lot of skills. It's just not the skills that you want me to know.
All right. And she'll just like, you know,
But thank you for the blowgun. I have a lot of fun with it.
do. You might want to take a trip to that apothecary, see what kind of tricks you might be able to add to that.
I suppose. Taratha, are you busy? Can we learn some spells tonight? Start now.
Yes.
All right. I'll see you for dinner, Aunt Willow and Holly.
All right.
All right. So
So
go ahead.
I talked to Teritha. So, any of those listings on the board got you interested?
Nothing in particular.
Oh, sorry, I meant Tali. You're Teritha and Zola are off. Sorry,
Mm.
I just messed up the names again.
I'm really sorry, Kelly. Can you give a very like one word
Yep.
for the?
Dodgy merchants selling faulty magic items.
Yep.
Being bodyguards at the castle. There's a violent murderer. There's an addictive drug ravaging the city's youth. There's some nobles going missing and being found with their brains sucked out. And then there's adventure at the Adventurers Guild. Some people are returning with only half their party, and they do not remember the half of the party that is gone.
Nobles probably pay the best.
That's true. Castle Guard is always a treat. Best food in the house. Um, Probably shouldn't go without Teretha, I'd say. Yeah,
Don't think so.
keep doing that, and it keeps biting us right in places we wouldn't want it to.
Mm. Bowie, what do you got? Drop it. I just hear her chewing in the other room. And I know that all of her dog bones she took outside with her, so she's chewing something that she shouldn't.
I think the whatever was going on with the brains and the one with the people forgetting stuff, those both sound like a mystery, and I'm always down for a nice mystery. And the castle guard, if Zola proves herself to be all right tomorrow, maybe she could come along for some simple guard duty.
See, brains getting sucked out might be interesting. Um,
For the DM, how many of these jobs do you think we could expect to do while we're here?
Um, so the event is a one night thing, so you could get that done. Give me an intelligence check. Regarding the one with the half of the party missing.
That'd be a 13.
I mean, even with that, like you you passed the Hydra that messed with people's memories, and it's not that far out of the city. So
Oh
you can
yeah,
imagine.
I'm sure Teritha wants some revenge.
Yeah. So you can.
Uh, I'll put two and two together and ask Tolly Bane what they thinking.
Taliban. Uh, uh, that monster was not something I thought we should mess with anyway. Maybe if we could get some other adventurers to come along with us, but even with our full party of three, I don't know that it's still don't know if it's something we should even try.
Sounds fair.
But yeah. So, the ones that like you could ideally like get done in a day, each would be the Hydra and the social event. The other ones seem like it could be as quick as a day, it could be an ongoing thing. So you wouldn't know how long it would take necessarily to work through the others.
When is the event at the castle?
It's 2 days before you leave.
All right. You want to start looking into the brain sucking tomorrow?
Yeah.
We'll talk to Ter. Once we figure out what we'd like, we'll talk to Teritha about it. I guess. Sorry that we're kind of leaving you out of this conversation. If you have something that you'd like to do, Corey, you could just say it because I don't mean to like take away your agency.
Let's go kill the Hydra.
Oh no! Only if we get more help.
I mean, you do have some high level adventurers in your party, so you don't even have to go digging around the guild. But I mean, if you want to make friends and network, you can try and team up with one of the other adventurers at the guild hall.
Yeah, well, let's. How about this? I assume that Teritha's here. How about we start up on the looking into that brain sucking, and at the same time we'll go visit the guild tomorrow and see if anyone else wants to come with us to kill that nasty Hydra.
Oh, I think we can handle it ourselves.
No.
I
No.
almost had it. I was this
No. No.
It really did
No.
not look like you were that close. I'm just gonna be
I
honest
was
there.
literally the
No.
closest you could get.
No.
You did not do a single point of damage on that motherfucker.
It wasn't about doing damage. Had I wanted to do damage, I certainly could have.
No.
Had I wanted to escape, I certainly could have. Had one
No.
goal. So close.
You died. No.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No. Help. Words. No. Those. We need at least 2 more people.
I don't think so. I think really only just one more of you would be fine. Preferably, actually, you, Tali.
You got a spell in there that will just make me 2 people?
Soon. Soon I will.
Well, then at that point, we can go ourselves. But until then, we need at least 2 more people.
Squad of 5 doesn't seem bad.
Nice.
I think we're underestimating our power, but so be it.
I don't think I'm underestimating your overconfidence.
Yeah.
It could be not that we're underestimating our power, just that you are underestimating the Hydra a little bit. I think.
Oh, no. I think, if anything, you are. I'm the one that faced the Hydra. You guys stayed quite back.
Yeah, but your ego is maybe getting in the way of reasonable decision making.
My ego got me killed. I know what I'm talking about.
No.
I love this Hydra so much.
Tolly. Okay. In character, I don't want to do this to begin with. I don't want to go there. I don't want to fight this thing. I don't want to deal with it. But if we're going to deal with it because you need to deal with it, then we're bringing 2 more people.
One day, when you get a white whale, you'll understand.
You know, at the end of that book, he dies.
I thought you
I
didn't
know.
read, Tali.
No. I said I don't like reading, not that I don't read. Those are 2 very different things. And at one point, a smart person was like, "Bet you can't fucking read this book." And I said, "Fuck you," and I sat down and I read it.
You read it in one sitting.
No,
Very,
read it
very.
over in multiple sittings, but
Hmm.
settings and sittings. But that's not the point. The point is that is not a good story to be referencing right now, and only proves my point.
I love it.
Oh, ye of little faith, which is surprising. I
No,
have to
it's
say.
ironically true.
And at that point, Zola's going to start tugging on Taratha's robe, and she'll go, "Can y'all stop fighting so that Taratha can teach me some magic? If y'all want me to go adventuring so bad, I need to know some damaging spells."
Yes, Zola, could you run into my tent and put on the kettle? I'll be inside in a moment.
Sure thing. She'll walk her way inside. She knows how to make tea at this point, so it's not going to be a disappointment.
I'll leave it up to you two what we're doing tomorrow. But I think you guys should take it easy on Zola.
I
I'll
think
be
she'll
the judge
do
of
whatever
that.
she wants to do, but if Willow's gonna make her go adventuring, then she's got to be prepared.
Make sure she knows something that can hurt somebody.
I can do whatever you want. I just think that maybe instead of telling her what to do, you should talk to her, engage in conversation. I think she's at an age where I think that would go a long way.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm off to go teach a child some magic.
Have fun now.
All right.
Oh, you have no idea.
When you get into the tent, the kettle is on, and Zola has her two scrolls laid out and her pouch of money in it. Um, and
Oh, we don't need those quite yet. Put them aside. We're gonna enjoy some tea first.
all right. And she'll pour you one, and she'll pour herself one. Gonna sit and chat.
You need a clear mind. Sip your tea.
All right. She sips it. Like, I mean, she does plenty of like, mind clearing stuff like with Willow. Um, so she settles in pretty easily. It's just a little bit. This is just a little bit different from what she's used to for mind clearing.
Zola, look down into your cup. The tea leaves. Tell me, what do you see?
Well, I see the number 20 and the number 1.
It's cute. Don't tell me. Tell me this then. What do you think those mean?
Well, I think one of them is really good and one of them's really bad.
See, that's the thing about the future. You don't know which one's which. However, swirl them around a little bit, and you can make the choice for yourself what's good and what's bad.
She'll swirl it and she'll go, all right.
See, that's the power. It's not that one is better or one is worse, but you get to choose. And how you choose, well,
Like,
that's really going to shape. Yes.
like this. And you like the next give me a deck save as like you lift your mug a little like too fast. And don't even do that save because it's a 1 and you spill a little bit on your robes. She just used portent on you.
For what though?
Just like, kind of stopping the tea from overspilling.
No, but what did she cast?
I'm just saying, I'm just using it like at this point. Like she didn't cast anything. It's just she it's
Just
just
flavor.
exactly. It's like imposing the 1. It's just flavor. It's not anything like real.
Oh, I guess I'm sorry. I guess I'm just confused about what I'd be rolling for.
You lifted the mug a little too fast. And to like usually you would I said like do a deck save to like kind of make sure that you don't let any spill.
EC2.
Yeah. And then kind of like the 1 flashes before your eyes and you know that she used up one of those numbers in her tea leaves.
You need to be a bit more judicious than that.
All right. When should I use it?
Well, when do you think it would be appropriate? I don't want to tell you what to do.
Well, I don't really want to go adventuring, so I've just been using it lately to have fun.
Then why don't you go and try and persuade your aunt? I'm sure you could do a really bang up job.
I I don't feel right. I don't want to use it to make big decisions and force things that wouldn't go if I didn't earn it honestly.
Oh, you're earning it honestly. You can trust me on that.
Yeah, but don't feel that way. I only like using it for fun stuff.
Really? You
Yeah,
think making people spill is fun?
it's harmless. You just use your prestidigitation and it's gone.
Had I burned, how would that made you feel? Had I not been a magical person and you'd spilled hot tea on me because it's
Well,
funny.
I wouldn't have spilled hot tea on you if I didn't know you was magical. But I know that you're a toughen.
So that just makes it all right.
No, don't make it all right. I wouldn't do this if we weren't talking about my skills specifically.
That seems awfully convenient.
Well, I hadn't used it before on you. I could make these numbers before, I just didn't do.
You hold a great and tremendous power. Throwing it away on frivolous activities is one thing, on harmful activities is another. But the point is, you finally get to make some weighty decisions on your own. You can tailor your own fate. You can choose in a way that before maybe you couldn't have.
I suppose.
I'm not going to tell you how to use it, but you're powerful, quite powerful, and I think you should be aware of that.
I just want to run a bookshop.
Oh, I know. But from experience, once this gets out, and it always gets out, um, you'll never live that quiet lifestyle again. You'll be sought out.
Well, only you and Aunt Willow and Tolly know. And it's gonna stay that way. Because if it
And
gets
that's
out,
three too many.
I know it's one of you.
There are other ways.
Well, and she'll put the mug down. She go, "Are we gonna learn magic or not?"
Absolutely. Pull out your scrolls.
And they're already out on the table with the gold pouch to like cover the cost. Yeah, only the three of you know that she's a wizard. And it's not like she keeps it like a. It's not that she keeps it like a secret. Like I mean, or that.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay. I just wanted to double check that I didn't like miss something more important than that.
yeah. It's not that she keeps it like. It's not like she's hiding that she's magical. Like yeah, she has cantrips and like that like people might know that she has like the ability to do cantrips, and that's kind of like no one gives a shit because most low level magic people do that willy nilly. But in terms of portent and in terms of anything like that, like only the three of you would know. But the scrolls are out. The money is out to cover the cost of the spells. Um, but just bear in mind, Corey or Taratha, like it is several hundred GPs worth to copy the spell of the sand wall spell, and she does have several
Oh,
hundred
I'm not.
GPs.
Yeah.
But she does have the
I said,
money with her to lay out on that.
pluck an eyelash.
All right, the weird spell component, but they'll pluck it and hold it out.
You know how when you stare at it, you can hardly see it almost? It's almost as though it kind of disappears if you don't look at it quite right.
Yeah, I suppose.
Imagine yourself like that. And as you do that, place it in this gum. Fold it with your fingers. And as you feel your body begin to turn right down that feeling, its verbal, somatic components into your book.
And she'll do that as you're like kind of copying it down. Now, just so you know, she's not high enough to cast a level 2 spell slot yet. So she only goes semi-translucent as she does that. And you can tell that she followed your instructions to a T. She just does not have the power yet to fully realize it.
Good. You'll get there. Now you can practice it on your own. You won't need the aid of this scroll. You make your own path in this world. You don't need to rely on cheap tricks. You don't need to rely on other people. You forge your own path, and if someone blocks your way, well, move them.
And what about the sand one? This is even more powerful than the invisible one. Can I start learning this one too?
It's quite late. This will take well, let's just put it this way: you can't go adventuring tomorrow if we do both this spell and the next. We'll work on that one later.
All
Um,
right.
we have more tea. We have more tea leaves to read in the future, anyways. Um,
Sorry, I'm just laughing at Eric in chat. Um, and she'll roll the scroll up and put it in her pack, and she'll sit down and have some more tea.
Tell me, why don't you want to fight?
Don't want to get hurt people. It's so weird that I just want to work in a bookshop and life.
Not at all. Not at all. But I just want to make sure that you can convince your aunt of this, because if
And
you're not
scared of anything, if that's what you're thinking.
sorry,
I ain't scared of anything if that's what you're thinking.
I don't think you're scared of anything. I think that if you want to have this quiet life, that you need to convince your aunt that you want nothing a part of this adventuring lifestyle, even if it's just to show you what it's all about.
Suppose.
Because what you're telling me, you don't really sound terribly sure.
What are you talking
Sounds like
about?
at the end of the day. Well, it just sounds like at the end of the day, you're going to go along with your aunt. We're going to go on a little adventure tomorrow, and you're going to hate every second of it.
She's my aunt. I'm not gonna tell her no.
But
Raised me.
you could.
I don't think
You
you have
are
a.
your own.
We ain't. None of us are our own. We're a clan. We're all each other's, and we take care of each other.
I'm aware. But you can still tell her no.
Don't feel right doing that. And I mean, she ain't entirely
And
wrong
that's fine.
either. Because my mom was living a quiet life and she died.
Suppose. I'm just letting you know. It's all right to say no. It is your right.
Well, I know that. And she'll sit down and she'll go, "This is how you talk to your the Alcott boy." And it's funny that she's
Yes.
like calling him that because he's like 3 years her senior. And what would you
Yes,
do
I
if he
find
told you no?
he is free to do that. And I wish he would. This is your world. I am merely here to guide the path.
All right. She sips her tea and she's like staring, and she's not entirely buying it, but I mean she's also not
Think of
letting it.
me as a torch I don't lead you down the path, I just show you what's down there. And with your little ability, you're soon going to be in the position where you can choose what's in the darkness, what you'll encounter, and what you won't. It's a tremendous power. It's a frightening power.
It ain't
Because
so frightening.
the moment you use it for non frivolous things, the moment you enact your will in the world, you will have made a choice that you can't take back. And you won't ever be able to take it back. And it will be all yours.
And she'll take another sip and she'll go, see, this is why I just wanted to stay home in the books. Y'all start talking about nonsense like responsibility. And she's listening to you. She just doesn't like the kind of implications of what she has to do. Well,
I just want to make sure you're prepared.
yeah. Aunt Willow trains me all the time to defend myself. Not against the big
Oh,
old things
I'm
that
not
y'all try
worried
and.
about that.
Alright.
I'm worried about the day when the world becomes a bit bigger for you than a little bookshop.
I think I could survive. Tough too.
I don't deny that. I don't doubt that for a second.
Well, Taratha, I appreciate you teaching. I think I want to go and go back to the read a book. That's all
You
right
do
with
that.
you. Finish up, and she'll clean up like as best as she can. She knows that like you have prestidigitation, and I don't think that you would have like that many things that to wash up the things because you could just magically do stuff. So she'll kind of make it neat on the table just to show some sort of effort to clean up after herself. And she'll take her scroll and her coin pouch and head out.
You have a good night.
You too, Taratha. And she'll go over to Willow with her book in hand. And she'll go, well, I learned some spells, Aunt Willow. I guess I'll do whatever you want me to do tomorrow.
Sounds good. Wow. So we go to bed, and
Uh-huh.
after maybe when she's like reading for a little bit, I'll kind of go, you know, I'm sure you feel like I'm maybe a little rough on you sometimes. That's kind of like framed as a
Uh,
question almost.
uh-huh. Sorry,
Sorry.
I above table did not get that. She'll go on. You gonna give me an apology?
No.
Dang it.
I guess you're definitely an oddball in our clan. I don't know of any young people who didn't go through what Zola and I went through.
You mean Zinnia?
Or Zinnia, yeah, Zinnia and I went through.
Oh well. I like how I like what I want to do. Don't
I
get
don't
me.
mean odd like what you want or who you are. You're a lot like your mom in those respects. And that's a good thing. I'm talking about in the way you're being raised.
All right. That seems more like a you thing than a me thing.
Well, see, I don't think you fully get how Zinni and I were raised and what it was like exactly. In the Sheena clan, there is a strong desire for uh, independence uh, from the rest of the world and dependence on one another. And there's an attitude that a person has to be strong, or what they have will be taken away from them. I remember growing up, you know, even though we were sisters, uh, they would pin me and Zinnia and do fights against each other, and we'd have and the person who won that fight, they got the bigger meal that evening, or the better food, or got to take a break, or didn't have to do that chore, this chore. I tended to best your mom in most of those fights, unfortunately.
That's a weird flex on a dead woman, Aunt Willow.
It's not a flex. It's not. It's more what I'm trying to say is that both your mom and I hated it.
Mm.
We didn't like that too much. We didn't like having to constantly compete against each other and having to constantly compete against everyone else just to get by. But we're also in a unique place. You're not normal, and you know that. You have, we didn't fully understand it until a couple of years ago, but we've always had these dreams. We've always had this connection to one another. And even though you're separated from them, you're still part of this clan. And there will be people who come and try to take what you have because you are part of this clan. And so, yeah, I'm a little tough, but I worry that, I worry sometimes that maybe the reason why I'm here raising you is in part because uh, I wasn't I wasn't there to help Zinnia when she needed me, and I want to make sure that I'm here for you.
I don't think you could blame yourself over Ma dying. I mean, I could have even been, troubles from having me, and if it was, I don't blame myself. I mean, she chose to have me. Can't help that I'm a baby that kind of messed things up, but like you couldn't have stopped that.
Yeah, it may be that I couldn't have stopped it, but nah, just I guess I wish I was there. Mm.
I suppose, but
But still, that's part of the reason why I'm so tough on you. But it's good to be tough because the world is tough.
yeah.
All right?
Well, I think it's about time that I turn in. I just want to let you know that I finished my training with Taratha, and I learned invisibility.
Well, that's good.
Oh shoot! You,
What?
I didn't learn any damaging spells.
Well, I guess I'll lend you a dagger or something tomorrow.
Oh, I got the blowgun. I'll be good. I just realized I didn't learn anything that'll hurt stuff, but that's okay. I don't need it.
All right. Good
All
night.
right. And unless party members want to talk to each other, I think that's a good place to stop.
You can come have some tea.
We could end with a tea party session.
Us three could drink some tea together after Zola goes to sleep.
Yeah, sure.
What do y'all talk about?
I'll let you guys go first.
Do you know about Zola there? Zola?
What do you mean?
She can bend the future.
Like you?
Yes.
Well, that just means she's a good student, I suppose.
You should do everything in your power to make sure that she's never found out.
What do you mean by that?
There are those out there, those that wander the sands looking for a glimmer of the future, and they will tear anything out of you if they think you can give it to them.
I mean, there are also those out in the sand looking for glimmers of the past who will tear that out of you. And the people in our clan know that all too well.
And that's fine. I'm just letting you know. I've roamed the sands for a long time.
No, I
They will
appreciate it.
find her.
That's
And
why I'm pushing her to be able to defend herself. You can continue. Sorry if I interrupted you.
yeah, and I hope she can. My worry isn't that she doesn't understand the weight of this divination.
It's hard when you're that young to understand the weight of anything.
She's not that young.
There's different kinds of youth, and I think you know that as well as I do. And she may be old enough to understand, how to copy a spell into a spell book. Maybe old enough to even know a little bit about, to make the right decision in a difficult moment. But to understand what matters and what other people want and what other people will do to get what they want, that requires a different kind of composure than most young ones have.
My fear is that she will use this power to protect you. And I don't think she'll fully understand the consequences of that.
All right. I'll keep it in mind.
Well, what does Tali say? Is she just kind of quietly sipping her tea while these two talk it out?
Yeah, I mean, this really isn't. It's not, you know, not her place to kind of get involved in that. She doesn't really. I mean, like, for anyone outside the caravan, it's like, yeah, your parents or whoever is raising you is the one that like does. I don't know. She doesn't really have an opinion. She's just like, this is a little awkward. I'm gonna drink my tea.
I love it. Is the raven out?
No, she hasn't tested the raven yet.
Okay.
Tali, any word from Saturn?
Just that he likes my new aesthetic.
Oh yeah,
That
definitely
is
that
just too cute.
the rope somehow like it just keeps making its way out of your pack, like it'll just be neatly folded like on your seat when you return, and then you pack it away and then it'll be out like somewhere else. Bowie,
Yeah. Yeah.
come here. Sorry. All right. Anything else, or do you all turn in?
I'll turn
Turn
in.
in.
Yeah,
Nice.
sleeping.
I dig it. I have a talking point, but does anyone else does anyone have any thoughts or something they want to talk about before I blabber?
Go for it.
Um,
Go, go, go.
so one thing that I find interesting is when parties kind of adopt NPCs into the party, and not just like useful, quote unquote, useful NPCs, but like like young characters or starting characters. So in this one, there's Zola. In the other one, there's Liam, who is a low level 12-year-old paladin. And it's just interesting the dynamic of the party going from sort of, an adventurer, that are like, solely set on kind of maximizing and kind of optimizing everything they can. But here, and also in the other party, like, you buy items that you could have spent on your own things for Zola. So I'm just kind of curious, like anything else that you notice when the party, or sort of the shift in party dynamics when there is a young NPC on board.
I think like that it grounds the party to some degree, right? Like into the narrative and into the world more. Cause like there's
Mm-hmm.
this like you know what I mean? Like there's like an NPC, like I'm not just like playing a video game where like I try to min max all my money so that I can get all the things I want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, no, I like this character or this character I have responsibility for, so I'm going to also spend money on them, right? And
Mm-hmm.
to make them, feel better or whatever. I think that that's like part of it. It's like for me, like yeah, it grounds me more into the narrative. If there's something that I feel that passionately about that is not related to strictly to gameplay in quotes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Leia. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you a question. Like, do you find that that doesn't that there is more min maxing if there's not
Um.
uh one of those?
So I think that there's the more potentiality for min maxing because it's one less person that you have to uh like take care of. So you have that disposable income now. The other thing that I think is really interesting is how if the party decides to adopt the NPC, it becomes like the golden child, the one that everyone wants to help out, the one that everyone is kind of like pooling their resources for to make have a better life in the game. But then, God forbid, they have a character imposed on them that is similarly quote unquote useless, and then there's almost like abuse, verbal abuse that goes on to it, and not in a terrible way, but just like in that joke, and like, ah, man, we got to do an escort mission. Like, we got level 3 fighter here when we're level 10. Like, this guy's so lame, stuff like that. Whereas if you choose to have these low level NPCs, they're like the star children. They're like, oh my god, look at you grow. I'm so proud of you. Type of thing.
I think that depends on the relationship to,
Mm-hmm.
like what is the character's relationship to this other character, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, because like I'm thinking about like the differences between Lucky and
I fucking
Zola,
love Lucky.
right? Like we have a love-hate relationship with Lucky, right? Like we love Lucky, but also like he's a dumb fuck and needs to learn some hard lessons and
He's a
isn't learning
punching
those
bag.
things. And yeah, and Zola is like, if any of us tried to do that to Zola, Willow would try to murder us,
Yeah.
right? Like that would create like deep schisms in the party itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, like even just Taratha using the scroll without her permission like started a little like, what are you doing? That's stealing from the party. Even though it's an NPC and not a PC. Um and God, there's so much that hasn't been uncovered yet that I just can't wait to be revealed. It's just I guess here's another thing going off the young NPC track. But like as a DM, like there's like there's certain things that like you just want your players to know, but like they don't organically get there, so you just have to sit on this for so long. And like what's your breaking point in a way? And I know that it varies context to context, but like what are ways that you kind of nudge players or try and mitigate scenarios that like you really want them to have this information but they're not really doing the thing that like would make sense for them to have this information or to have the character give up this information. So I'm not sure what your experiences are with that.
Dream sequences.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yes. A god appears and tells you shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you do visions, cryptic shit. I don't know.
That
I
is
think
true.
it's fun for players because they feel like they're getting something special and drip fed to them, but at the same time, you as a DM get to like tell them the shit that they're not figuring out because
Yeah.
there's always going to be that distance between player and player character, and so what a character might literally or actually do is not going to be the same as what the player is feeling that day or at that moment or whatever. I mean, we're it's called role playing for a reason. We're
Yeah.
trying to enact this persona, and it's not always one perfection.
Mhm.
I also find that sometimes it's really fun when they, like, when you drop hints as the DM, because, like, you're not only, like, there are those things that DMs do, the tropes that, like, that players know, like,
Yep. Are
know,
you
or, like,
sure?
yeah, do you really want to do that? Like, are you gonna double down on this right now? And like I use those a lot, particularly if they're going kind of in a really wrong direction or a direction that has potential to like really fuck them. And also though, it can be really fun when players just don't get it.
Yep.
Like when either because character or player just wouldn't, like, they don't ask the question, and so like,
Mhm.
well, you didn't ask, I don't know what to do, you didn't ask the question, right? And
Yep.
so like they just don't learn that thing, and then that thing becomes a part of the world that keeps going that they don't know anything about, and
I
then you just kind of have
know.
these notes that are like, okay, this is happening over here. and
Yep.
uh and and I find that actually adds a lot of depth to the game and can actually bring like that thing that you thought didn't matter from session 0 or 1 or 5, comes back around in session 20 or 30.
Yep.
And like, that little kid that you like spotted but decided to do nothing about is now like a really powerful wizard and like got taken up by like a person who was not good and is now the person you need to like murder.
Yep.
um and I find that stuff, like, honestly, a lot of the time will pull on emotional heartstrings, right? And makes for a really amazing story. So I don't
Mhm.
know.
No, I agree. I love that. Like I haven't had I mean I don't think I've been able to do it here or with the other crew yet. With that sort of like because you did not do this, something else came around or like where it was like super poetic. But I live for that poetic shit. Like in the campaign that Eric DMs, we went to this area where we got fucked up by some deep crows, and now we're back there again, and we were just kind of like joking about the deep crows, and then lo and behold, we're at the deep crows again, and we were like, yes, like it wasn't even something that happened because we did or did not do something necessarily. It was just we're back here again. We know there's deep crows, here they are again, and it's just so exciting as players to have that sort of stuff like come around.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with like everything Leia just said, and I think that like it is important to try to have the world keep moving. So like mild spoilers for our campaign, Kelly. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's a really big spoilers, but so for the rest of you, like basically the crux of the campaign is that like there's this like basically dragons have returned to the world after a long period of there was like dragon wars like thousands of years ago where the dragons were defeated
Yeah, I played Skyrim.
and yeah, it's Skyrim or whatever. But anyways, but there's also like this dragonborn contingency that's like working with them and taking over the world. And the first city that was attacked was the city that the party was in, and the party chose to escape. And then they chose to go do a separate adventure to kind of, and it wasn't like completely like irrelevant to like the big major conflict, but it was like not directly like dealing with that conflict. And so now they were gone for a really long time, and they get back, and now Kelly's character's home city has also been taken over. And it's like that maybe wouldn't have happened if they didn't go do their adventure, right? But like that's the way the world, that's the way the cookie crumbles, right? And that I think that makes the world feel more real and like lived in. I think that that's a good thing, you know, to like
Yeah.
I think it makes your it makes I think that it does what's really important in D&D, which is making the characters feel like their decisions have weight behind them.
Oh, I agree. And I think so like one
Sorry, go ahead, Corey. You go first. Nope, Corey, you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think like in a way where we're talking about kind of DMs being reactive to player choices, which I think is a great thing, you know, to pick up on those moments where the players are very much making an active choice, or they're not picking up on a plot, or and to play that out, react to that. I think that's a very good thing. But I also think as like a DM to put in those moments where you're giving your players, those kind of bigger choices, and depending on how they choose, the world shifts or alters because of that. I think those um can be really powerful moments, because I think a lot of times the way that we DM is like, you either succeed or you don't, and then it's kind of just a fail state almost. It's like kind of that video game logic. But having the world grow and giving those players like those high pressure, make a choice moments, and having contingencies based on what the world may look like after that. I mean, they might fuck it up and I don't know, do something completely weird, and then that's just you as a DM. But going in with like that kind of going in like thinking about it non-linearly, I guess.
I will say that this whole
No, you go for it.
I was just gonna say this whole conversation makes me feel like I don't know something about Zinnia that I really should.
Yeah, you're on the sort of track, but you'll get there.
All right, I want to go back into the session, and I'm gonna cast sending on the artificer, on the architect guy, and have him. He has to go do more errands, and he has to tell me what he finds.
Wait, are you talking about the archiver, not the architect?
Archiver. Yeah. Thurgood. I quickly send this Thurgood, find out everything you can about Zinnia.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just super pumped, because here's the other thing, like this campaign is admittedly a bit of a slow burn. But like, I mean, I got stuff going on, and speaking of like character choices, like there are parts moving that you even that like based on they're moving because of choices that you made, but they're also moving as like a secondary result. So like you did this thing, so this person found out, and they kind of were talking, and another person found out, and then now something's happening. And I don't feel like that's a spoiler to really say that. And it's not because you did anything right or wrong. It's just that this thing happened, so now more things are happening, and I'm just sitting here just like excited, because there's so many things that like threads that you could pull, but you're not, because it's not something that you like is glaring, yet at least. So it's just, I'm just sitting here like, I have so many things, and yeah. It's one of those like the best and worst things about being a DM is like knowing all of these like surprises that are gonna happen, but not knowing how they're going to unfold necessarily. And it's just like a lot of fun, but it's torture.
I've been getting a lot of traction lately, I think, for just as a fun for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
I think in having even when players succeed, there is both a positive and negative, or maybe positive and neutral kind of like consequences to what they're doing. So like Kelly is in my Thursday campaign, and we're playing Pathfinder 1E, and they just like found this air elemental that had been like chained up,
Yes.
like in the base of this dungeon, and she wasn't bad. She's just an air elemental, right? She's a very very powerful air elemental, and they let her go, and she in this group of islands where they're at right now, her power was responsible for kind of like these very heavy like winds and storms that used to happen in she was called the Northern Wind, and now that she is released, like they released her, and that's good because she was like literally, chained up for hundreds of years or whatever. But now like the Northern Winds are back, and like that's going to impact those islands again. And so it has like, like these like both like it was good of them to unchain her because that's really important, but also um, has this kind of other negative consequence for the wider world. So I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. I love. Incidentally, Leia, if you remember the last campaign I DM'd and you were in, how you
No, I
guys ended up
completely
dealing.
forgotten all of that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
let's bring up that trauma. Um, yeah, depending on how you dealt with, the demon in the tree, like the entire geopolitical landscape would change in the direction
Right.
you guys went down, which involved someone making a pact with a demon. Um, that really changed the way that the game or the story changed because there could have been ways in which the world would not even be nearly the same as as the story went.
Mhm.
I'll send this to y'all in chat, but one of my favorite things of like players completely changing like the path in the world is we were a mostly good party traveling with a drow. And we went to a village and the villagers came up to like kind of see what was going on, and it was like, a huge, pack full of like commoners, and the drow cast fireball because he perceived them as like kind of like he did a really bad perception check, and the DM described, yeah, it looks like they're coming down to charge on you, so he reacted defensively and murdered a bunch of people. And that just completely changed how we had to navigate that world and how that world was going to operate, because now there's like we're now the big bad. But then he very quick we all had the ability to disguise ourselves, and there was just a really funny sort of narrative that went on after that, where we were then hired to find and track down the people that killed the villagers. So we were essentially hired to apprehend ourselves.
That's hilarious.
Oh. But I'll send the speech that the drow gave to the investigator that gave us this thing. But yeah, that I just remember the DM going like, "Wow, like I need to scrap literally everything that I've set up for this entire arc," because it was at like the beginning of the campaign too. So yeah, it's incredible.
Sometimes it be like that. Sometimes your players are just gonna fuck everything, both literally
Yep,
and
I was like,
figuratively.
"Oh, who's the bard now?"
No, I also think though it can be fun to like change your characters into like when they make a series of decisions that ultimately turns them into like the people around the party not seeing them as good people,
Mm-hmm.
like then giving them negative consequences to that, like now
Oh,
they
I
have to
am
fight
doing that
people.
so hard on the
Right.
Friday
like,
crew.
like now they have to fight people they would have considered good people because those people don't see them as good. And I think like I don't think that it works in the long term, but I think it's short term moments in time to like say this is how your negative behavior impacts the world negatively and will come back on you. Like I think that can be a really powerful tool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Friday crew took a teleportation scroll down to Vara to try and like just get reinforcements for the Taijo army. And they were approached by bandits, and they killed one of the bandits without necessarily considering the laws of the land. Like, yes, there's sort of like a you could defend yourself, but there's also like you if they go after you, that doesn't just give you like a clear card for murder. And one of the bandits got away, and now they have to deal with potential legal consequences for this sort of thing. And it's just gives so much depth when they have to navigate like a political landscape, and not just my stats are higher than yours, I win.
I know, it reminds me of a moment where tigers were considered personal property. And
That was so much fun.
Pre-Tiger King too.
Yeah, actually. I can't wait for that to get settled in like 2 years' time.
Hey, I am looking forward to that day
Yeah.
eagerly.
Oh man, I have such a plan. But anyway.
But I
It
also
is
think like that's like a perfect example of like, reacting to player choices. Like that was ostensible. I'm not going to say that was a throwaway episode, but it was minor in terms of the what we were dealing with
Oh yeah.
narratively at that time. Um but it just kind of grew and grew and grew. It was great.
Yeah. It is 5:01, so I'm thinking about we should call it now. Thank you
Sounds
for
good.
playing. It's a lot of fun as always, and I look forward to playing with y'all next week.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Peace outsies.
Bus stream.